Chapter 33:16. Wasn't this Luo Yingtian? Why did he look exactly like Luo Yingtian? Qin Yun, Luo Shuang and the other big shots of the empires were filled with questions. They could be sure that this person who looked exactly like Luo Yingtian was the nine-heaven divine Yang Law Spirit that came out of Heaven Cemetery Mountain. Even if he wasn't Luo Yingtian, he must be related to Luo Yingtian. Otherwise, they wouldn't look the same. We meet again. Back then, you were just a baby. I didn't expect you to grow so fast. It hasn't been many years and your strength has already reached this level. You have grown very successfully. Oh right, let me introduce myself. I am Nine Heaven Law Spirit. Nine Heaven Law Spirit said with a smile. Qin Yun was startled. He had actually met this middle-aged man when he was a baby. He had many baby periods. He didn't know which period he was talking about. We have met before? Qin Yun asked. Yes, you were just created back then. Nine Heaven Law Spirit said. It hasn't been that long. Qin Yun was even more shocked. He had just been created during the Heaven Creation Divine Palace period. It was his first life, but this man had met him before. And he said that it hadn't been that long. Then are you an enemy or a friend? Qin Yun could sense that this man was very strong. If they fought, he had no chance of winning. We will not be friends, nor will we be enemies. If our paths are different, then we will eventually face each other, and have no choice but to destroy each other. So I hope you can make a choice now. Nine Heaven Law Spirit smiled. He looked very friendly at the moment. Choice. Qin Yun was puzzled and asked, What is your path? What path do I have to choose? You should be very curious about what kind of existence I am. I can tell you now that we are the same. We were all created and our fates were arranged. We experienced cruel fate and all kinds of tribulations, experienced many rebirths, and yet our souls are not destroyed. Finally, as long as we reach this step, it means that we have successfully broken through the shackles of fate. After that, we will comprehend the mysterious universe, transcend the restraints of the universe's laws, and reach a realm that no one has ever reached before. Nine Heaven Law Spirit's eyes showed vicissitudes and pain when he said this. Qin Yun looked into his eyes and felt as though he could sense it. After all, he had experienced 9 lifetimes, and they were all very painful experiences. I still don't understand why we are the same. Qin Yun still did not understand. I am the 9 heaven worlds law spirit, and also the strongest divine sun spirit in the 9 heavens. The reason why I was able to be born is because the universe's law spirit bestowed me with life. And your birth is the same. Although the universe's Dharma spirit did not personally create you, under the operation of the laws, you were born. The universe's Dharma spirit has a plan. He directly or indirectly urged the birth of many beings like you and me, but there aren't many who could grow to this stage. Currently, you, the 9 Yang Dharma spirit, and the barbarian sovereign have all reached this step. There might be others, but they haven't appeared yet. The 9 heavens law spirit said, Of course, I was the first to be born in this plan. The rest of you only appeared after many years. Qin Yun's heart is in turmoil. He finally understood why the universe's law spirit left behind Xie Yang in the 9 Sun Divine Soul. Moreover, for many years, the 9 Yang law spirit has been secretly observing him, or perhaps it should be said that he was supervising his training. He originally thought that he was created to make a wedding dress for others. Later on, he gradually understood that it was all to temper him. For example, the heavenly venerable emperors from before. What shocked him the most is that the barbarian sovereign is also in existence. No wonder he is so powerful now. What path are you talking about? Qin Yun calmed down and asked again. Very simple. Whatever path the universe's law spirit wants us to walk, we will walk that path. If we don't listen to the universe's law spirit and walk the opposite path, we will be destroyed. The 9 heaven law spirits said. You and Luo Yingtian look exactly the same. Why is it like this? Qin Yun asked again. Luo Yingtian is only my avatar. He has an independent personality, but his essence is still me. And the Nine Heaven Law Spirit laughed and said, "Actually, it doesn't matter who is who, the important thing is whether or not we can walk the same path." When Qin Yun heard this, he vaguely felt a sense of danger. Although Luo Yingtian is an independent personality, he is still the avatar of the Nine Heaven Law Spirit. Earlier, the Nine Heaven Law Spirit seemed to be hinting that as long as he wants, Luo Yingtian can also become stronger, or he can control Luo Yingtian. And how many inheritances or consciousness related to the Nine Heaven Law Spirit are hidden within Luo Yingtian's soul? In other words, Luo Yingtian is indeed very dangerous. As long as you choose the same path as me, we will be able to avoid a battle today. The Nine Heaven Law Spirit said, "I don't want to fight with you because you are very successful. You used such a short period of time to grow to this stage, this is very rare." The Nine Yang Law Spirit made a choice. He walked the opposite path of the universe's Law Spirit. Then what kind of punishment did he receive? Qin Yun very much wants to know the current situation of the Nine Yang Law Spirit. There won't be any punishment, he must be destroyed. The barbarian sovereign has already gone to do it. Very soon he will be able to destroy the Nine Yang Law Spirit. At that time, the Nine Heaven Law Spirit looked at the myriad realms divine sun in the sky and said with a sigh, "Once the Nine Yang Law Spirit is destroyed, this land will once again turn heaven and earth upside down." It can be seen that the Nine Heaven Law Spirit doesn't want this land to be destroyed. He also doesn't want the Nine Yang Law Spirit to be destroyed. I have known the Nine Yang Law Spirit for many years. I really don't want him to be destroyed. Therefore, I should have been the one to destroy him, but in the end, I still let Barbarian Emperor go. The Nine Heaven Law Spirit looked at Qin Yun and said, "You are very young, a very promising young man. You must cherish your choice this time." Qin Yun previously did not believe that Barbarian Emperor was fighting with the Nine Yang Law Spirit, but now he believes it. The Nine Heaven Law Spirit in front of him is very powerful. Qin Yun has no confidence in defeating him. Why does the Nine Yang Law Spirit want to walk the opposite path of the universe's Law Spirit? What does the universe's Law Spirit want him to do? Qin Yun asked again. He has never understood what the universe's Law Spirit wants to do. Everything that happened in the myriad heavens divine desolate and the universe seems to be a game played by those Law Spirit. The living beings under their operation laws are too insignificant, they are unable to clearly see this big game. I don't know. I have never asked about this kind of thing. Moreover, I have always been sealed and have always been in slumber. I just came out, the information I received is very limited. The Nine Heaven Law Spirit said, "But I will definitely be loyal to the universe's Law Spirit, I will absolutely not betray him. I will choose my own path," Qin Yun very earnestly said. Chapter 33:17. Qin Yun also did not say that he wants to fight against the universe Law Spirit or walk the same path as the Nine Sun Law Spirit. His meaning is very clear. He wants to walk his own path. No one can interfere with him. Even the Nine Sun Law Spirit can't change his own path. Own path. Nine Heaven Law Spirit is not surprised by this answer. Because he once had the same idea. How could he not want to walk his own path? But he knows that this kind of path is impossible. In the end, it will only lead to death. Yes, I will not obey the universe Law Spirit. I will decide what path I want to walk, Qin Yun very resolutely said. At this moment, many people are looking at them. The big shots of the Empire and Taisher powers are all somewhat afraid of the Nine Heaven Law Spirit. They did not expect that the guy who ran out from the Heavenly Tomb Mountain would look exactly like Luo Yingtian. Moreover, he is so powerful. Then will you fight against the Universe Law Spirit? Nine Heaven Law Spirit asked. He really does not want to fight against Qin Yun. That will depend on whether or not he will block my path. Qin Yun smiled freely. I really don't want to fight against anyone. It was others who fought against me first, so I had no choice but to fight back. Nine Heaven Law Spirit nodded and said, That's right, I also don't know whether or not I should destroy you now. Qin Yun said that he wants to walk his own path, but from the looks of it, it is unknown whether or not he is walking in the opposite direction of the Universe Law Spirit. You don't want to fight me? Qin Yun's smile became even wider. Ha ha! I indeed don't want you to fight, but don't think that I'm afraid of you. Nine Heaven Law Spirit laughed a few times and said, Actually, people who have reached our realm shouldn't fight and kill, there is also no need. What's more, after so many years, I'm really tired of fighting. Nine Heaven Law Spirit and Qin Yun have a feeling of mutual appreciation. He really does not want to fight Qin Yun because if they fight, either both sides will suffer or one side will definitely die. Not only towards Qin Yun, he also has the same feeling towards Nine Heaven Law Spirit and Barbarian Emperor. From his point of view, he is the big brother. It is not easy for these little brothers to grow up. It is because they are too rebellious and they are going against the Universe Law Spirit, their father, that he has no choice but to take action. Then what do we do now? Qin Yun asked. I don't know. Jiutian Faling looked at the group of big shots behind him and said, You've also killed a lot of people today. How about we call it a day? As for what I should do next, I still have to ask for instructions. What about Barbarian Emperor and 9 Sons Dharma Spirits? Qin Yun is very concerned about the 9 Sons Dharma Spirits. Moreover, he wants to communicate with them. They will end it. I hope they are all safe and sound. The 9 Heavens Law Spirit sighed and waved his hand. I hope that when we meet again we can be amiable. Farewell. After the 9 Heaven Law Spirit finished talking, he flew over to Heavenly Emperor Huoling and the other side, said a few words to them, and brought them away. He left just like that? Even Qin Yun was somewhat surprised. He stared blankly at the ground that was filled with the wreckage of the warship. Although Luo Shuang and Luo Yao were in the city, they didn't even dare to move a muscle. The pressure from the 9 Heavens Law Spirit was too terrifying. It was as though it could destroy the entire De Luo Imperial City with just a wave of its hand. Qin Yun couldn't sense this kind of pressure because his strength was equal to the 9 Heavens Law Spirit. But it was different for others. Especially when they were closer to the 9 Heavens Law Spirit, they felt that the pressure was even more terrifying. Qin Yun returned to De Luo Imperial City. Luo Shuang promptly came over and asked, Is it over? Qin Yun shook his head. It's just the beginning. Luo Shuang thought about it and understood a bit. She sighed and said, Where will this world go? I don't know. Qin Yun looked up at the sky. Although he avoided a battle today, he had a strong premonition that he would definitely have to fight the 9 Heavens Law Spirit in the future. We know nothing about this world. How can we know what will happen to this world? What we need to do is to work hard to survive. Only then can we see with our own eyes how this world will go and how it will change. Luo Yaya said, No matter when, compared to the entire world, we living beings are insignificant dust. No matter how the world goes or how it changes, it doesn't care what we think. That's right. But if the world wants to destroy us, then we can only change the world. Qin Yun said, I want to go rest. You should also prepare well. Sacred land will not be peaceful very soon. Why? Luo Shuang hastily asked. For a very long period of time, the sacred land has been very peaceful. Only after Qin Yun came did this peace break. I don't know. The main target of the 9 Heavens Law Spirit is not me. I should be just passing by. Qin Yun said with a frown. What? Luo Yaya was shocked. The 9 Heavens Law Spirit wanted to kill Qin Yun, but it was just passing by. He has more important things to do. Otherwise, he would have attacked me just now. Of course, he is not completely sure that he can kill me. Instead, he is worried that he will be seriously injured, so he chose not to attack for now. Qin Yun said again. Although the Nine Heavens Law Spirit was talking and laughing, saying many gentle words, Qin Yun could clearly feel the destructive power in his heart. Qin Yun quickly disappeared from the Luo Imperial City. Luo Yaya and Luo Shuang also don't know where he is. They can only contact him through the magic mirror. He quickly arrived at the water moon under the lake of the Imperial Palace. One of Luo Yingtian's avatars is here. Seeing Qin Yun return, he has many questions to ask. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit is your true body. Qin Yun said, when I saw him, I was very surprised. I really didn't expect it. I also didn't expect that I would have another true body. But I have an independent personality. I am not him and he is also not me. Although Luo Yingtian's expression is very calm, his eyes are filled with sadness. He is truly unable to accept this fact. He has lived for so many years and lived such a wonderful life. He once controlled this universe, was the heavenly emperor of the Luo Empire, subdued many powerful women and even gave birth to many children. But now, his true body suddenly appeared, letting him know that he is only an avatar. He also cultivated avatars, so he is very clear that as long as the true body wills it, these avatars will self-destruct. Luo Yingtian, you are indeed not the Nine Heavens Law Spirit, but I believe that you definitely have his talent. You are exactly the same as him. As long as you are willing to work hard, you will definitely reach his height. Qin Yun said. Luo Yingtian shook his head and said, you should be much younger than me, but you have reached his height and I. He laughed at himself and didn't continue speaking. I can help you. Qin Yun said. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit is very loyal to the Universe Law Spirit. In the future, he might become my formidable opponent. I don't want to face him, so I need you. The Universe Law Spirit can make him grow so powerful. I think I can also do it. If necessary, I will let you kill yourself. Luo Yingtian's heart is moved. He clearly understands Qin Yun's goal. If Qin Yun can really make him reach the height of the Nine Heavens Law Spirit, then he might be able to defeat the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. He wants to chat with more like-minded people about the $_title. WeChat follows, you read literature, chat about life, find a bosom friend. Chapter 33:18. How could Luo Yingtian not think of killing or defeating the main body after learning that he was only a clone? But that was impossible. A single thought from the main body could destroy the clone. Luo Yingtian, who was excited by Qin Yun's words, had his eyes lit up with passion, but it soon dimmed. Impossible. If he wants me dead, I'll die. I can't fight my main body. I may have an independent personality, but I'll do anything for him with a single thought, let alone kill him. Luo Yingtian shook his head with a sigh. You're a clone, but you should know that you're an excellent one. What is the purpose of the Nine Heavens Law Spirit cultivating this clone of yours? Qin Yun asked. He's afraid he'll die. Isn't cultivating a clone the same as cultivating a second life? Although it's much weaker than a spare second life, it's better to live than to die. Luo Yingtian said, I am indeed a very outstanding avatar, so outstanding that I always thought that I was the child of destiny. He had been the exalted celestial emperor for many years, but Qin Yun had captured him not long ago. Now that he knew he was only a clone, it was a huge blow to him. Qin Yun took out the soul-creating heavenly cauldron. Your main soul is still inside. I'm not just torturing it, I'm also planning to refine it again. This is to prevent your main soul from controlling a large number of clones to attack me. However, the main soul inside is only a portion of the Dharma Spirit's soul. As long as the Dharma Spirit needs it, the main soul's consciousness will cease to exist. Luo Yingtian sighed. No, I can modify the imprint hidden in the depths of your soul. If I succeed, you'll be able to escape him completely. Qin Yun said. Is that really possible? Luo Yingtian suddenly became excited. Yes. I'll start right now, you have to cooperate with me. First, you have to recall all the souls inside your clones. I want to make sure they haven't separated their imprint. Qin Yun said. Alright, I'll gather the 9 clones right away. Luo Yingtian hurriedly said. I won't erase his soul imprint in your soul. I'll just refine it, otherwise, he would have sensed it ahead of time. Qin Yun said. In the future, if the 9 heavens Dharma spirit truly becomes my powerful enemy, I will need you to give him a fatal strike when he least expects it. Luo Yingtian nodded. He knew what Qin Yun wanted him to do. Soon, Luo Yingtian's 9 avatars gathered together. Each of them was very powerful, which surprised Qin Yun. I originally planned to fuse my 9 avatars with my main body, wanting to use this method to surpass the divine space realm, but I didn't succeed. Luo Yingtian sighed. That's a good idea. Perhaps you can give it a try. Let me help you refine your soul first. What Qin Yun needed now was a powerful tool. Luo Yingtian, the celestial Dharch of Deluo, was very suitable. Firstly, he was very strong to begin with, and secondly, he had the potential to break through. If Luo Yingtian could successfully surpass the divine space realm, he would be a powerful tool. He could turn the 9 suns' sacred ground upside down, and use him to keep the other empires and Taisher forces in check. He could even contend against the barbarians. Qin Yun himself was very powerful, but he still had Barbarian Emperor and the 9 heavens Dharma spirit. It would be very difficult for him to face any one of them, let alone 2. Moreover, the Cosmos Dharma spirit must have secretly nurtured many such experts during this period of time. For example, the celestial thearchs of the other empires and the giants of the Taisher forces. They were all important targets for nurturing. The purpose of the 9 heavens Dharma spirit rushing over this time was to protect this group of tools with great potential. Otherwise, with Qin Yun's power, he would definitely be able to kill them. The other 3 empires and Taisher forces had suffered great casualties from Qin Yun's calamity. They are now somewhat weak and don't dare to oppose Qin Yun for the time being. Therefore, Qin Yun contacted the Divine Judge and asked the Myriad Realms Divine Court to speed up their infiltration of the major cities of the Luo Empire. The souls of Luo Yingtian's 9 avatars all entered the soul creation heavenly cauldron and fused with the main soul. Qin Yun immediately began refining the souls. He rarely refined souls, but his perception was extremely high. Especially through his research of the Imperial Heaven Divine Art, it allowed him to reach a higher level when controlling anything. For example, refining the soul was to be able to see through everything in the depths of the soul, dissect the soul and find other things from the complicated composition of the soul. The soul was extremely complicated. Even he himself was unable to completely grasp his own soul. Luo Yingtian was the same. He didn't even know that he was an avatar. The main reason was that he was unable to sense the other soul imprints in the depths of his soul. Qin Yun also spent several days to discover the 9 heavens Dharma spirit's soul imprint. It was hidden very deeply and it was extremely well disguised. Although he found the 9 heavens Dharma spirit's soul imprint, Qin Yun was unable to continue. Because he was unable to modify the soul imprint, what he needed to do was to sever the subtle connection between the soul imprint and Luo Yingtian's soul. He was unable to sever it. Once he did, Luo Yingtian's soul would scatter. The 9 heavens Dharma spirit's technique is too brilliant. Qin Yun took out the divine mirror of grand beginning and told it his problem. This should be the technique of the universe's Dharma spirit. Old Brother Taisher said, "The reason why you think you can't do it is because your soul is not strong enough right now." That's right. If my soul is strong enough, I can interfere with all the connections within other people's souls. Qin Yun sighed. What should I do? He originally planned to use a clever method to carry it out without letting the 9 heavens Dharma spirit know. However, the progress was much more difficult than he imagined. Not to mention not being discovered by the Nine Heavens Dharma spirit, he couldn't even sever the connection and erase the imprint. Your soul is not strong enough. You need someone with a stronger soul to help you, old brother Taisher said. Can you do it? Qin Yun quickly asked. I can't. The structure of my soul is very different from your human soul. I can't carry it out smoothly, old brother Taisher said. Look for Miller. Miller? Qin Yun never thought that Miller would be able to do this kind of thing. Miller's mental power is very strong. Moreover, it can erupt many times. Qin Yun has always been envious of her control over mental power. He once asked Miller how to control such a strong mental power. However, Miller couldn't tell him because she was born very strong. I once tested how strong her soul is. I can only say that it's bottomless. Old brother Taisher said again. Miller's soul becomes stronger when it meets strong enemies. If you ask her to do it, she will be able to help you complete it. Otherwise, she wouldn't know how to pour out such a strong soul power. Qin Yun immediately asked Miller to come out and help. Miller just came out and saw Luo Yingtian's 9 avatars. Her charming face is filled with shock. Her white cat ears are folded, she seems to be somewhat afraid. Chapter 33:19. For many years, Miluru had been hiding from the pursuit of the great Luo Empire, mainly because she was special and could be regarded as a very mysterious special race. As for why she was so special and why she was special, Qin Yun still did not understand. He only knew that her soul was very strong. Miluru was born from a son of Luo Yingtian and a female cat-ear person of the exotic cat kingdom. She was very pitiful since she was a child, always being bullied and used, but her mind was still very simple and naive. The Luo Yingtian she met today was her grandfather. Qin Yun gently touched her head, took her hand and asked, Luo, what's wrong? Do you know him? I don't know. Miluru gently frowned, quickly grabbed Qin Yun's hand, then shrank behind Qin Yun and whispered, Brother Yun, I am a little afraid of him. Why are you afraid of him? Qin Yun asked softly. Brother is here, don't be afraid. I can't say it because I feel that he is the one who has been catching me all these years. The aura of those destroyers is very similar to his. Miluru was still a little afraid, although she knew that Qin Yun was very strong. There are no destroyers now. This guy is the boss of the destroyers. He is already under my control. Qin Yun smiled and said, Luo, you don't have to be afraid in the future. Really? Miluru looked at Qin Yun with some surprise, then smiled happily. Great, the boss of the destroyers has been caught by Brother Yun, I am no longer afraid of them. Miluru really had a shadow of being hunted down. Qin Yun did not tell her that Luo Yingtian was her grandfather. In his opinion, Luo Yingtian had no family. Luo, brother wants to ask you for help now. Qin Yun gently touched her lovely white and tender face and said with a smile, It may be a little difficult. No matter how difficult it is, I will do my best to help brother. Miluru looked resolute and said very seriously, Let's start now. Miluru usually ate the Divine Universe Golden Stone in the 9 Sun Divine Spirit, then played with Yang Yang and the others. Sometimes she followed Yang Yang into the Divine Sun Divine Spirit to cultivate, or ate the delicious food made by Zi Qingqing and Shui Tianzi. She lived a very happy life, so she was even more grateful to Qin Yun. Qin Yun first let her sit beside the soul creation heavenly cauldron. Then, he guided her in detail to sense the soul inside the soul creation heavenly cauldron and guided her to find the original body imprint inside the soul. The soul imprint of the 9 heaven law spirit was hidden very well. Qin Yun spent a lot of effort to find it. But Miluru quickly found it. Qin Yun was amazed. Miluru was born with a very strong searching ability. Previously, when she was looking for the Divine Universe Golden Stone, it was very fast, and she could even take it away through the air. She was not strong, but she had such a shocking ability. Under Qin Yun's guidance, Malheur began to strip the Nine Heavens Law Spirit's original body imprint. This process was extremely smooth. With just a little guidance from Qin Yun, Maruru seemed to quickly understand what Qin Yun wanted her to do, so she quickly completed it. After Luo finished, Luo used Luo's, Luo, Luo had not. Luo as Luo soul, Luo as spirit, Luo and Luo 2 as not. After Malheur was done, Luo Yingtian's soul had to be awakened in the creating soul heavenly cauldron. His 9 avatars now had no soul and were still sleeping. Your Excellency, it wasn't you who helped me get rid of my original body's imprint. Who helped me? Luo Yingtian is very curious about this. In the beginning, he could feel that Qin Yun was probing his soul. Later on, a very powerful soul force probed and quickly helped him strip off his original body's imprint. Luo Yingtian was very excited at this moment, because he was now truly an independent person. He was no longer someone else's substitute, and the Nine Heavens Law Spirit could no longer erase his independent personality. He was very curious as to what kind of expert was helping Qin Yun to have such a powerful soul. He was certain that the soul power did not come from a magical spirit, but from a human. Qin Yun did not tell him that it was his granddaughter who was helping him. After all, Malheur's existence was very mysterious. Before he figured it out, he would try not to expose Malheur. A friend. Qin Yun asked Malheur to return to the 9 Sun Divine Soul, then he said to Luo Yingtian's soul, "Your 9 avatars are very strong, I want to fuse them together, at the same time, I want to add the Divine Sun Blood Seed liquid, this is very risky, it may damage the 9 powerful avatars." "Bring it on," Luo Yingtian said. "I am not afraid of anything now, as long as I can become stronger." Qin Yun is now experimenting. Universe Law Spirit has conducted many experiments, so Qin Yun believes that he should also experiment with the Divine Sun Blood Seed liquid. He first took out the 9 Bloodline Heavenly Pattern boxes, including the Divine King Heavenly Seal box. "Old Brother Taisher, it is time to use your heavenly rune characters," Qin Yun said. Old Brother Taisher is learning and comprehending more and more heavenly rune characters. Qin Yun has only mastered 9 of them, the rest are beyond his control. According to Old Brother Taisher, he needs to reach the level of Law Spirit to master these heavenly rune characters. Moreover, these heavenly rune characters require the help of several bloodline heavenly pattern boxes. Old Brother Taisher now wants to use 2 heavenly rune characters, Fusion and Life. Fusion is something he comprehended from the mysterious Fusion heavenly rune, it is mainly about fusion. Life is about rebirth and mutual generation. After fusion, they can regenerate and give birth to each other, they will not restrain each other and will be able to fuse even more perfectly. Divine King Heavenly Seal drew in the power of the other 8 bloodline heavenly pattern boxes, then condensed heavenly rune characters on the seal surface and imprinted them on Luo Yingtian's 9 avatars one by one. Each avatar was imprinted with Fusion and Life heavenly rune characters. After Qin Yun took out the pill transformation heavenly furnace, he placed the 9 avatars inside and then drew in the divine sun power of the 9 Sun Divine Soul. With Ling Yun'er's help, he began extracting the divine sun blood seed liquid and pouring it into the pill transformation heavenly furnace. Under Qin Yun's control, the 9 avatars gradually melted and then fused together. However, they still have not taken human form, they are still a big ball. Qin Yun took out Luo Yingtian's soul from the soul creation heavenly cauldron and placed it inside the pill transformation heavenly furnace. The process will be very painful, you have to endure it, Qin Yun said to Luo Yingtian. Luo Yingtian did not have time to reply and began screaming in pain inside the pill transformation heavenly furnace. Qin Yun continued to control the pill transformation heavenly furnace to refine Luo Yingtian's body. After 10 days, he finally refined Luo Yingtian into human form and then released him. At this moment, Luo Ingtian looks like a burnt person. Cracks slowly appeared on his charred skin and faint white light emitted from the cracks. After peeling off the layer of charred skin, a handsome middle-aged man appeared. It is Luo Ingtian. Qin Yun can feel that Luo Ingtian's body has returned to its original state. His body is not as strong as mine. But no matter what, Luo Ingtian has already surpassed the divine space realm and reached the origin returning realm. I really did not expect that I would succeed on my first try. Qin Yun is pleasantly surprised. Chapter 33:20. Through this experiment, Qin Yun could obtain a very rare experience. At the very least, he knew another path to return to the beginning. The main reason why Luo Ingtian could succeed was that he had a very solid foundation. Over the years, he had cultivated all 9 of his clones to the extreme, and he had a deep understanding of all aspects. Qin Yun also understood this, so this method might only have a high chance of success on Luo Ingtian. For others, they would at least need to meet Luo Ingtian's conditions. No one was more excited than Luo Ingtian. He had finally reached the realm he had been pursuing for a long time. He could clearly feel that the power in his body would no longer be taken back by the laws of the universe. Back then, before his cultivation base had regressed, he had once stood at the peak of this universe. However, as soon as the laws began to operate, his cultivation base immediately regressed. Even if he could return to his former peak, he would not be as excited as stepping into the origin returning realm. This was because the returning origin realm was a new beginning, the beginning of a future. This future had infinite possibilities, unlike before where one's power could be withdrawn at any time. Thank you very much, God King. Luo Ingtian immediately saluted Qin Yun. He is now incomparably admiring Qin Yun. You must remember your mission. Qin Yun said, Of course, you are definitely not the 9 heavens Dharma spirits match now. Therefore, you still have to cultivate. It's best to do it in secret and not let the 9 heavens Dharma spirit know. Luo Ingtian nodded. He knew very well why Qin Yun helped him become stronger. It was so that he could keep the 9 heavens Dharma spirits in check. He was the clone of the 9 heavens Dharma spirit. Although he didn't have the memories of the 9 heavens Dharma spirit, they definitely had some similarities. If the 9 heavens law spirit knew that you had stepped into the primordial origin realm, he would first think of a way to destroy you. Qin Yun exhorted, So you have to hide yourself well. This is the Genesis realm? Luo Ingtian didn't know what realm it was. Following that, Qin Yun briefly explained his understanding of this realm, causing Luo Ingtian to exclaim repeatedly. Divine King, I have 2 very precious divine sun blood species in my hands. I have always been hiding them. Luo Ingtian said, I will give you these 2 divine sun blood seeds as repayment. What kind of divine sun blood seed is it? Qin Yun was rather surprised that Luo Ingtian actually had one. It's not that big. It's just a little bit. With my strength, it's impossible for me to extract the divine sun blood fluid from it. Luo Ingtian gestured with his finger, and found that it was only the size of a thumb. Where did the Daluo Crown Prince get his divine sun blood seed from? Qin Yun asked. The divine sun blood seed liquid he used seems very evil. That was provided by the universe spirit. My God sun blood seed did not come from within Xieyang. It comes from within the divine universe sun and divine universe purple sun. Luo Ingtian said, I've hidden it in the palace. I'll go get it now. Please wait a moment. The heaven universe divine sun and divine universe purple sun could indeed produce a divine sun blood seed, but it was extremely rare. It required an extremely large divine sunday. Back when Luo Ingtian had been in charge of the Daluo Empire and dominated the entire Daluo cosmos, he had instructed the heaven-splitting ancient clan to destroy a large number of divine suns. He was also one of the people who had helped the universe's Dharma spirit search for the divine sun blood seed. After so many years, Luo Yingtian did find the god's sun blood seeds from the evil suns, and he handed them over to the universe's Dharma spirit. As for the divine sun blood seeds found from other super-large divine suns, he kept them for himself. Soon, Luo Yingtian arrived and handed 2 boxes to Qin Yun. The Heaven Universe Divine Sun Blood Seed is blue and the Divine Universe Purple Sun Blood Seed is purple. They are only the size of a thumb and they are weightless. The moment Qin Yun opened the box, he confirmed that it was a Divine Sun Blood Seed. He is very excited, because this is a Divine Sun Blood Seed that was not born from a Xie. It is very precious. Such a huge divine sun could only produce such a small divine sun blood seed. Qin Yun sighed. Isn't that so? You must know that after so many years, I can't even remember how many super large divine suns I have destroyed, but I can only get these 2 divine sun blood seeds that were not born from a Xie. Luo Yingtian also sighed. Qin Yun kept the 2 divine sun blood seeds. He plans to research them in the future and see if he can use the Nether Sun's replication ability to replicate the divine sun blood seed liquid. This is not a Xie blood seed, so it will be more stable. Qin Yun's Nether Sun has a very powerful replication ability. It can replicate many kinds of energy. He once used it to replicate the energy of those rare divine medicines and divine pills. Then he used it to refine pills. The divine sun blood seed liquid is also a kind of energy. In theory, it can also be replicated. What is the background of 9 Heavens Island Master? Is this guy related to 9 Heavens Law Spirit? Qin Yun is very curious about 9 Heavens Island Master's identity. Previously, it was 9 Heavens Island Master who jumped out and cut ties with the other empires and Taisha powers. If he was related to 9 Heavens Law Spirit, he shouldn't be so cowardly. I'm not too sure. Although 9 Heavens Island Master has a good relationship with me, he is unfathomable. In front of me, he often acts weak. Luo Yingtian shook his head. In short, before figuring out his situation, try not to interact with him as much as possible to avoid being tricked by him. I don't have much to teach you about cultivation in the origin realm at the moment. You can explore and comprehend it yourself in the future. Qin Yun said, I have just stepped into this realm. I haven't unearthed the hidden power of the unstoppable power. Thank you for your teachings, Divine King. Luo Yingtian said, Divine King, Daluo Empire will definitely cooperate with the Myriad Realms Divine Court in the future. Qin Yun nodded in satisfaction. He is not afraid of anything happening to Luo Yingtian because Luo Yingtian wanted to sign a soul contract with him. Next, I will have to wait for the birth of the 9th Divine Sunday. I wonder if it will come out. Qin Yun sighed before leaving the water moon beneath the lake. He came outside and floated above Daluo Imperial Palace. His original goal was to kill Daluo Crown Prince, but he did not expect so many things to happen. Overall, he gained a lot, especially the 2 divine sun blood seeds that Luo Yingtian gave him. Qin Yun took out the magic mirror and contacted Luo Shuang. He asked her to stay in Daluo Empire and discuss with her father how to get rid of Wang Tiange. He left Daluo Imperial City and prepared to return to the Vermilion Bird Treasure Ground and use the teleportation formation there to head to the 4 divine suns. After he left Daluo Imperial City for a long time, he suddenly felt someone following him. The aura is very weak, but Qin Yun panicked when he sensed it. 9 Heavens Law Spirit, why are you following me? Qin Yun suddenly stopped in the air and looked in a certain direction. Qin Yun, I came here to destroy you. The 9 Heavens Law Spirit appeared. Why? Could it be that you are sure that I want to fight against the Universe Law Spirit? Qin Yun was panicking a moment ago, but after seeing the 9 Heavens Law Spirit, he gradually calmed down. He should have known that this battle was unavoidable. Barbarian Emperor lost. 9 Heavens Law Spirit defeated him. I have to say, 9 Heavens Law Spirit is very strong. Nine Heavens Law Spirit laughed at himself. I am the nine heavens and he is the nine suns, but he is a bit stronger than me. Chapter 33:21. The Barbarian Emperor lost? Is he dead? Qin Yun immediately asked. He is very alarmed, but at the same time, he is secretly happy for the nine Yang Dharma spirit. The barbarian sovereign is heavily injured and won't be able to recover in a short period of time. Now, you and the nine Yang Dharma spirit are in the same camp, and I'm the only one left on my side. Now that the barbarian emperor is injured, there is an imbalance between our two camps, so I have to make a move against you. This is all for the sake of balance. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit said. The Nine Heavens Dharma spirits and nine Yang Dharma spirits are both powerful Dharma spirit. The Nine Heavens Dharma spirits partnered with Barbarian Sovereign, while the nine Yang Dharma spirits partnered with Qin Yun. The Nine Suns Law Spirits had defeated the Barbarian Sovereign, so for the sake of balance, the Nine Heavens Law Spirits naturally came to find Qin Yun. Did the universe's Law Spirit tell you to find me? Qin Yun is now certain that the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit has successfully transformed into a human and its strength is very strong. I can give you a chance. As long as you join our side, today's battle can be avoided. Nine Heaven Law Spirit did not answer Qin Yun's question, instead he very earnestly said, I am not afraid of you, rather I admire you very much. I don't want you to be destroyed like this. Qin Yun replied very seriously, I've said it before, I want to walk my own path. I'm not afraid of you either. Come on. You can't beat me. Seeing how determined Qin Yun was, the Nine Heavens Dharma Spirit could only take action. Qin Yun immediately used Void Transcendence steps to distance himself from the Nine Heavens Dharma Spirit. He knew that there was a difference in strength between him and the Nine Heavens Law Spirit, so he had to avoid fighting him head-on. He had to maintain a good distance. If he really couldn't beat him, he would have a chance to retreat. The Nine Heavens Dharma Spirit had already seen through Qin Yun's intentions. His movement technique was equally strange. He could traverse through space and immediately catch up to Qin Yun. What Qin Yun never expected was that the Nine Heavens Dharma Spirit's speed was even faster than his. Especially after it tore through space, the stab was completed in an instant, preventing Qin Yun from dodging or blocking. The sword struck Qin Yun's back. When it made contact with Qin Yun's body, a loud explosion erupted. Qin Yun's body seemed to be struck by an extremely powerful force from behind as his body flew forward. Just now, Qin Yun had only instinctively circulated all his strength to defend himself, trying his best to reduce the damage he suffered. Qin Yun never expected that his body would be so powerful after returning to its original state. That sword was actually unable to pierce through it. Although it couldn't pierce through, the power that erupted from the tip of the sword was extremely strong. The impact sent his body flying, and at the same time, he felt intense pain all over his body. The Nine Heaven Law Spirit was extremely shocked. His sword was not an ordinary sword. In the current Divine Desolate, there were all sorts of divine swords everywhere. Divine swords were no longer valuable. The sword he used was made by fusing with the Super Divine Sun's core material. It was also mixed with some Divine Sun blood seed liquid. It was extremely sturdy to begin with, yet it was unable to pierce through Qin Yun's body. That guy's sword is very strong. My equipment is definitely no match for it. Qin Yun did not plan to reveal his equipment, otherwise it would only be destroyed by the opponent's sword. Qin Yun's current equipment was not as powerful as his body. After the Nine Heavens Law Spirit recovered from its astonishment, it continued to chase after Qin Yun. It stabbed Qin Yun with a series of hundreds of stabs, each stab landing on Qin Yun's body. Qin Yun cried out in pain, but his body was not pierced. It was only extremely painful. Qin Yun, although you have surpassed the divine universe realm and your body is indeed powerful, do you see it? You are not my match at all. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit slowed down and said to Qin Yun with sneer, I gave you a chance before, but you didn't cherish it. Qin Yun took a few deep breaths. The pain in his body was completely swept away. It seems like his body has already recovered. This caused him to be shocked by his own body once again. It must be known that when he was attacked by hundreds of swords, he did not release any energy barrier. He used his body to withstand the attacks. Not only his body withstood the attacks, he also did not receive much damage. This means that his body is abnormally powerful. Even the Nine Heavens Law Spirit could not imagine how powerful his body is. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit did not stop on purpose. He had no choice but to stop because he used up a lot of power in one breath. Now that he has slowed down, he wants to gather formidable power again. No matter how strong you are still a human. You can't compare to us law spirits. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit attacked again. Qin Yun does not have the same level weapon to resist the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. Moreover, the power within his body is not as strong as the Nine Heavens Law Spirits, so he is unable to fight back. But this time, he suddenly pushed his palm forward. His palm vibrated, and a very complex heavenly rune character flashed out and transformed into a shield in front of him. Qin Yun can only pour his power into the formidable heavenly rune character to increase its power. Only by doing this can he resist the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. When the Nine Heavens Law Spirit's sword pierced the heavenly rune character, a vigorous vibration power transmitted over. It shook his sword until it hummed and he felt pain in his palm. Even more formidable is that he was sent flying by the shield formed by the heavenly rune character. This is the heavenly rune character Zhen. Qin Yun condensed it inside the Imperial Heaven Heart when he was being beaten. Heavenly rune character is indeed formidable. Qin Yun is secretly delighted. The Divine King Heavenly Seal's strength is not strong enough. Otherwise, he could have taken it out and used the heavenly rune character to suppress the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. He does not dare to take the risk now. If the Divine King Heavenly Seal were to be destroyed, it would be an incomparably huge loss. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit is startled. He naturally knew that Qin Yun used the heavenly rune character just now. He did not expect it to appear so suddenly and in such a complex manner. He finds it hard to believe that Qin Yun created it while he was being beaten. Humph! The Nine Heavens Law Spirit coldly snorted and rushed over again. At this moment, Qin Yun suddenly disappeared. Qin Yun once again used the heavenly rune character, Conceal. This can allow him to conceal himself. Although it is not complete concealment, it is not easy for the Nine Heavens Law Spirit to sense him. At least it is unable to immediately lock onto his position. This guy's body is also very strong. Even if I had a similarly strong weapon, I might not be able to injure him. Qin Yun now realized that it is very difficult to kill the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. If this continues, he will eventually be defeated here. You are here. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit sensed Qin Yun's weak aura and immediately attacked. Qin Yun has already concealed himself, but he was still discovered by the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. He immediately dodged and at the same time shot out weak energy aura to confuse the Nine Heavens Law Spirit's perception. After the Nine Heavens Law Spirit rushed over, it immediately sensed that there are targets all around it. This caused it to momentarily lose direction of attack. Qin Yun also took this opportunity to continue preparing the next heavenly rune character. Facing an enemy stronger than him, he can only use his wits. Fighting face to face is courting death. Qin Yun, I don't have time to waste with you. Let's end it here. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit immediately saw through Qin Yun's intention. As soon as he finished speaking, black mist surged out of his body. Suddenly, a small black divine sun appeared in the sky above him. Qin Yun saw the divine sun released by the Nine Heavens Law Spirit and felt extremely shocked in his heart. Black divine sun is usually evil sun, Devil Sun or Nether Sunday. And the one released by the Nine Heavens Law Spirit is the fusion of Devil Sun, Evil Sun and Nether Sunday. Qin Yun also imagined before whether or not he could fuse many divine suns into one. However, it is only an idea, he never tried it. Chapter 33:22. Qin Yun's Nine Sun Divine Spirit also has many divine sun. It is definitely stronger than Nine Heavens Law Spirit. And the problem is that the divine sun released by Nine Heavens Law Spirit has been cultivated into his body. This means that he can completely control the power of the divine sun. Although Qin Yun's Nine Sun Divine Spirit's divine sun is very powerful, he can only extract energy to support it. He can't release all of the divine sun's power in one go. He can't compare to Nine Heavens Law Spirit in this aspect. Seeing the fusion body divine sun released by Nine Heavens Law Spirit, Qin Yun knows that it will be difficult for him to win this battle. Little Ant Queen, quickly prepare your strongest power. Quickly send me into the dark space. Qin Yun immediately contacted the Nine Sun Divine Spirit's Little Ant Queen. She is currently cultivating. When she heard Qin Yun's words, she immediately began to earnestly cultivate. Originally, Qin Yun wanted to use heavenly rune characters to contend with Nine Heavens Law Spirit, but the power displayed by Nine Heavens Law Spirit is not something he can shake. After all, Nine Heavens Law Spirit has existed for many years and was nurtured by the Universe Law Spirit. He must have absorbed the divine sun blood seed liquid to cultivate very early on. He is stronger than Qin Yun in all aspects. Qin Yun, goodbye. Nine Heavens Law Spirit shouted coldly. He still feels somewhat regretful because he knows that as long as he has enough time, Qin Yun will surpass him sooner or later. Qin Yun's talent is extremely high, even Nine Heavens Law Spirit is envious of this point. At this moment, Qin Yun can no longer move. An incomparably evil supergravity is pressing down on him. Nine Heavens Law Spirit's fusion body divine sun also has formidable nether sun power. Combined with evil sun and devil sun power, the supergravity released is even more dreadful. It is also filled with an incomparably tyrannical vibration energy. When this force pressed down on Qin Yun's body, even with his powerful body, he felt an excruciating pain. It was as though his body was about to be torn apart. Bang! For some unknown reason, the fusion body divine sun floating above Nine Heavens Law Spirit's head suddenly flashed with a huge red lightning bolt and charged towards Qin Yun's body. Little Ant Queen is already trying to pull Qin Yun into the dark space, but because of the powerful supergravity outside, Nether Sun's power distorted the space, causing Little Ant Queen to fail. Qin Yun endured the pain and raised his hand to release the Sun Heaven Shield. At the same time, he fused the heavenly rune he prepared into the shield. The Sun Heavenly Shield can absorb the Nine Sun Divine Soul's energy to strengthen itself. When combined with the heavenly rune word defense, it can produce an even stronger defense. The terrifying red evil demon lightning struck the Sun Heaven Shield, causing it to explode with intense red light. Qin Yun had blocked the attack and the Sun Heavenly Shield was still intact. This surprised the Nine Heavens Dharma Spirit. In his opinion, Qin Yun would not be able to block this attack and would definitely be seriously injured. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit continued to attack, releasing red lightning and bombarding Qin Yun 10 times in a row. 10 consecutive attacks were blocked by Qin Yun's Sun Heavenly Shield. Not bad, not bad. The Nine Heavens Dharma Spirit admired Qin Yun even more, but he still had to continue attacking. After all, he knew that Qin Yun was full of tricks, so he had to be on guard. Furthermore, if he didn't have the ability to suppress Qin Yun, he wouldn't have dared to release the fused Divine Sunday, otherwise, it would have been easily destroyed. Only when he was certain that he was under absolute suppression would he release it. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit continued to release red evil demon lightning. They bared their fangs and brandished their claws. They are like malevolent blood-colored dragons as they crazily charged at Qin Yun. After dozens of attacks, Qin Yun's sun heavenly shield finally shattered, and then his body was hit. When he was hit, Qin Yun let out a miserable scream. He felt as if his body was being pierced through. Evil and ruthless lightning poured into his body. It is as if all kinds of electric needles were piercing into his body. Seeing Qin Yun let out a miserable scream, the Nine Heavens Law Spirit sighed. He knows that Qin Yun can no longer resist. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit continued to release red lightning to attack Qin Yun's body. After more than 10 attacks, Qin Yun is already riddled with scars. His powerful body finally couldn't hold on any longer. Many black cracks appeared on his body and his abdomen was pierced by a red lightning bolt. This is the first time in all these years that Qin Yun suffered such a serious injury. However, he is still clear-headed and communicated with the little ant queen. It's over. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit controlled a large amount of red lightning and condensed it into a huge blood-colored lightning ball. Then, it fell from the sky to the ground. That huge blood-colored lightning ball is as big as a city. When it fell from the sky, even the now very strong divine desolate land was torn apart. When the blood-colored lightning ball landed, it exploded with extremely strong red light and energy waves in all directions, causing the entire land to shake. The berserk energy waves submerged everything in the surrounding area. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit withdrew his fusion body Divine Sun, then turned around and flew away. He did not look at Qin Yun. From his point of view, even if Qin Yun was still alive, he would be finished. No one can withstand this kind of attack and continue cultivating. Even if they were alive, it would be a fate worse than death. After the Nine Heavens Law Spirit flew away for a while, that place is still shrouded in blood-colored mist. There are also many blood-colored lightning bolts jumping about. This large area suddenly turned into a dangerous area. Qin Yun's injured body is lying in the middle of a pit. His body gradually appeared with white energy, and then he was pulled into the dark space. After entering the dark space, Qin Yun repeatedly sighed at the strength of his body. He was actually able to remain intact under that kind of attack. Not long after he entered the dark space, 2 young men appeared in the sky above the area and looked down. One of the young men is the bloodthirsty barbarian king who was defeated by Qin Yun before. And beside the bloodthirsty barbarian king is an incomparably handsome white-clothed long-haired man. He is the barbarian emperor. Barbarian emperor, is Qin Yun dead? The bloodthirsty barbarian king asked. Even I can't withstand that kind of attack just now. Qin Yun should be finished. Barbarian emperor sighed lightly and said, "What a pity, I haven't even fought him yet and he's already finished." Barbarian emperor, do you think the Nine Heavens Law Spirit is stronger or the Nine Sun Law Spirit is stronger? The bloodthirsty barbarian king asked. I don't know. In short, if it wasn't for the Universe Law Spirit, I would have definitely died in the hands of the Nine Sun Law Spirit like Qin Yun. Barbarian Emperor looked up at the sky and said, "And the 90,000 Universe Divine Suns have not appeared yet. When all the myriad realms Divine Suns appear and the 9th Divine Sun is controlled by the Nine Sun Law Spirit, only the Nine Heavens Law Spirit and the Universe Law Spirit can suppress him." The bloodthirsty barbarian king is very astonished by the Nine Sun Law Spirit's strength and said, "But why didn't he come to save Qin Yun? The Nine Heavens Law Spirit also didn't come to save me." Barbarian Emperor said, "Qin Yun and I are after all humans. Those 2 guys are Law Spirit humans but they didn't fight head-on. They must have their own worries." After Barbarian Emperor finished speaking, he looked in the direction of Great Luo Imperial City and said, "Let's go, we will attack Great Luo Empire and capture Luo Indian. No, it should be the entire Nine Sun Holy Land." Chapter 33-23. Inside the dark space, Qin Yun is enveloped by the energy released by the little ant queen. Actually, Even without the protection of the little ant queen's power, he can still endure it inside the dark space. I've lost, I've been completely defeated. Qin Yun floated inside the dark space. Although he was in great pain before, now he suddenly feels very relaxed. After all, your foundation is not enough. You are facing a powerful enemy, a former powerful lost spirit. There's nothing to say about losing to him. As a human, it's very rare for you to be able to fight against the 9 heaven lost spirit for so long. You are very amazing. Old brother Taisher comforted him. Am I really that amazing? Qin Yun still felt a little melancholic. He originally believed that he had figured out the primordial quintessence realm and entered an unprecedented realm. It could be considered a realm that he had opened up himself. In that case, he should be invincible in the gods' wilderness. But now he is lost, it can be said that he is lost miserably, there is no room for him to retaliate. Closing his eyes, the 9 heaven lost spirit's fusion body divine sun seems to appear in front of him. At the same time, powerful thunder and lightning strike him. Barbarian Emperor should also be a human. Furthermore, he lived longer than you and received the universe lost spirit's nurturing. But didn't he lose to the 9 sun lost spirit in the end? Old brother Taisher said, that's why you lost to the lost spirit, there's nothing to feel inferior about. Furthermore, your potential is very great. In the future, you will be able to defeat the 9 heaven lost spirit. Qin Yun knows that he has indeed lost because his foundation is not enough. After all, the 9 heaven lost spirit is a powerful lost spirit. He was once above the 9 heavens and was nurtured by the universe lost spirit for many years to grow to his current state. Although Qin Yun has the 9 sun lost spirit's secret help, he did not nurture him the entire time. Instead, he let him fend for himself. Old brother Taisher, do you think I need to be like the 9 heaven lost spirit and cultivate a fusion body divine sun? Qin Yun asked. There's no need. You have to persevere on your own path. The 9 heaven lost spirit's path is something he walked on his own or something the universe lost spirit pointed out to him. It might not be suitable for you. Old brother Taisher asked, what is your divine sun cultivation path like? It is to cultivate 9 super divine suns inside the 9 sun divine spirit. This was my previous idea. Later on, my goal was even higher. I planned to return these 9 super divine suns to the beginning. Qin Yun said. That's right, this is your path. As long as you walk this path well, you will be able to cultivate 9 powerful divine suns in the 9 yang divine spirit. When you need power, you can mobilize the power of the 9 divine suns and fuse them together. The power that will erupt can be imagined. Brother Taisher said, cultivating the fusion body is very risky and the requirements for the body are extremely high. The 9 heavens lost spirit was once a very powerful divine yang lost spirit, so it was not a problem for him to cultivate and fuse with the divine yang in his body. After all, the merged divine sun was not stable enough. If it continued to strengthen, once an unstable factor erupted, the 9 heavens lost spirit's body would definitely not be able to withstand it. The 9 heaven lost spirit doesn't dare to release the fusion divine sun because he can completely suppress you. If you were a little stronger, he wouldn't dare to do this. The fusion body divine sun can only provide energy within his body, and will be limited to a certain extent. Brother Taisher said, the fusion body divine sun is his strength, but also his weakness. Qin Yun's injuries are very serious. He feels that everything in his body has been shattered. However, his recovery ability is very strong and he is gradually recovering. My body is actually so powerful, it's truly inconceivable. Qin Yun once again exclaimed in admiration as he sensed his body's recovery. During the battle with the 9 heavens lost spirit, he has already been shocked by his powerful body many times. If the 9 heavens lost spirit knew of his current situation, he would definitely be even more shocked than him. This means that the origin returning realm you explored yourself and the body you reconstructed through the origin returning realm is very correct. Therefore, you will be able to go even further in the future. Old Brother Teicher said with smile. What is the cultivation path of the Nine Heavens Law Spirit? Has he also experienced the origin returning realm? Qin Yun suddenly became very curious. What about the barbarian emperor? He seems to have also absorbed the divine sun blood seed liquid. I really want to know. He had obtained the cultivation method of the crown prince of Great Luo, and Luo Yingtian had also told him about it, but it was completely different from his origin returning realm cultivation method. Definitely not. In essence, they are still beyond the divine universe realm, but their power will no longer be taken back by the universe. Luo Yingtian's breakthrough should be your origin returning realm, because with your guidance, you are now the only guide of the origin returning realm. Old Brother Teicher said. Only guide? Qin Yun can't help but feel excited. He was the creator of this realm. Then what about the Nine Heavens Law Spirit? What kind of path does he have? Qin Yun now seems to have forgotten about his defeat against the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. He is filled with curiosity towards cultivation. Old Brother Teicher is very gratified because Qin Yun is now able to see even further. Because he is the guide, he is the only person walking at the very front of this path. He must know how to walk the path in front of him. As long as he can continue walking, he will become even stronger. Although the Nine Heavens Law Spirit is powerful, his path was pointed out to him by others. Others can let him walk however they want him to. He can even lead him to a dead end. You need to break through now. As long as you take another step, you won't lose to the Nine Heavens Law Spirit again. Old Brother Teicher believes that after Qin Yun's setback, it is a very good opportunity to break through. I won't lose to him again. Qin Yun nodded. Even if I can't beat him, I can't lose, and I can't be in such a sorry state. After Qin Yun's body recovered a bit, he closed his eyes in the dark space and began to comprehend. He wanted to clear the fog in front of him and make his cultivation path clearer. He wanted to walk even more steadily. At the headquarters of the Myriad Realms Divine Court, outside the Divine Palace, a slightly white-haired middle-aged man with an extraordinary bearing suddenly appeared. After this middle-aged man arrived, the Divine Judge immediately came out to greet him. Greetings, Nine Sun Law Spirit. The Divine Judge promptly saluted. No need to be so courteous. This place is after all Qin Yun's, he should be receiving such treatment. Nine Sun Law Spirit gently waved his hand and then looked at the vast palace hall. It is completely empty inside. I can't contact the Divine King. The Divine Judge said worriedly. This shouldn't be with his current strength, it is impossible for him to lose contact so quickly. He encountered a setback. Now his whereabouts are unknown, but he won't die. Nine Sun Law Spirit sighed. Just act as if nothing happened and continue operating the Myriad Realms Divine Court according to your plan. The Divine Judge's body trembled. Even with Qin Yun's strength, his whereabouts are unknown. This is not a small setback. Nine Sun Law Spirit, please instruct us. The Divine Judge is completely panicking. Evacuate Nine Sun Holy Land as soon as possible. Barbarian Emperor is preparing to launch a large-scale attack on Nine Sun Holy Land. Their first target is Great Luo Empire. You can go communicate with Luo Yingtian and see what he will do next. Nine Sun Law Spirit said. I will be busy with the matter of the 9th Divine Sunday. I won't interfere with the matters of Divine Desolate, I also can't spare any time. He wants to deal with the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. Yes, I will go to Great Luo Imperial Palace right now. The Divine Judge immediately took action. He wants to chat with like-minded people about $article_title? $article_title? Reading literature, talking about life, looking for bosom friends. Chapter 33-24. Although Qin Yun has lost contact with the outside world in the dark space, he can still guess what 9 Heaven Law Spirit and the others will do next. Before, Qin Yun first made Luo Yingtian's great Luo Empire yield and used it as a breakthrough to enter the 9 Sun Holy Ground. 9 Sun Holy Ground is very important. Whether it is to the new beginning race camp or the universe law spirit, it is a very important territory. They cannot let Qin Yun's hand reach in. Therefore, Barbarian Emperor and 9 Heaven Law Spirit want to take over the 9 Sun Holy Ground and lead the new beginning race camp inside and drive Qin Yun out. Qin Yun is not in a hurry to go out. He knows that the Divine Judge and the others will definitely be able to deal with it, because he previously told the Divine Judge that the 9 Sun Holy Ground is not a place that must be fought over. Previously, Qin Yun only brought the Myriad Realms Divine Court to probe the 9 Sun Holy Ground and see where the new beginning race camp's bottom line is. The Divine Judge is very clear that the new beginning race has deep roots in the 9 Sun Holy Ground. It will be very difficult for the Myriad Realms Divine Court to control the entire 9 Sun Holy Ground in a short period of time. Therefore, he is already mentally prepared. If the other side resists intensely, he will immediately retreat. The Divine Judge went to find Luo Yingtian to discuss the current situation and then left. Not long after the Divine Judge left, 9 Heaven Law Spirit arrived. When Luo Yingtian learned that 9 Heaven Law Spirit has arrived, he did not use his strongest Origin Realm body to meet 9 Heaven Law Spirit. Instead, he used a weaker avatar. Luo Yingtian has many avatars and they are very varied. The 9 strongest avatars from before are the first echelon. The next are puppet-type avatars, all refined from various powerful materials. 9 Heaven Law Spirit looked at the weak avatar in front of him and sighed, "You disappoint me." Luo Yingtian already learned from the Divine Judge that something has happened on Qin Yun's side. He guessed that Qin Yun was most likely defeated by 9 Heaven Law Spirit. Seeing 9 Heaven Law Spirit arrive, Luo Yingtian's mood is very complicated. 9 Heaven Law Spirit is very powerful. Although Luo Yingtian broke through with Qin Yun's help, he is still unable to defeat 9 Heaven Law Spirit. "I did not disappoint you," Luo Yingtian said. "You lost completely. You admitted defeat without even fighting." 9 Heaven Law Spirit shook his head and said, "This time, I came to take you back. I will leave the Daluo Empire to someone else." Luo Yingtian felt a sharp pain in his heart. No matter what, he had painstakingly built up the Daluo Empire. After so many years, he had already developed feelings for it. Yet, the 9 Heavens Law Spirit had given it to someone else just like that. Me admitting defeat earlier was just a delaying tactic. Luo Yingtian said, "I am currently cultivating in secret. It looks like my main body has been destroyed, and my main soul has been imprisoned by Qin Yun, but the truth is that I am stalling for time so that I can give Qin Yun a fatal blow later." "Is that so? How's your cultivation going?" In his eyes, Qin Yun was the most outstanding. Luo Yingtian was far inferior to Qin Yun. Luo Yingtian immediately explained the general idea of the primordial realm. This was what Qin Yun had taught him to tell the 9 Heavens Dharma Spirit. It allowed him to deceive them. Sure enough, the 9 Heavens Law Spirit could not help but frown in thought when he heard this. The cultivation of the primordial convergence realm sounded very simple, but it was very complicated when one thought about it carefully. Furthermore, there was a certain degree of feasibility. Luo Yingtian did not say everything. He did not say the most important part. This was also what Qin Yun had taught him. The 9 Heavens Law Spirit's eyes became brighter and his tone became much gentler. "I will not take you back for now. I will give you some time to cultivate. If you cannot break through, I will take you back and reforge you. What kind of help do you need? Just say it." "I need some divine sun blood seed liquid. This is the key," Luo Yingtian said. This was also what Qin Yun had taught him before. All right, I will send someone to deliver it to you. From now on, you must eliminate the myriad realms divine court within the 100 cities of the Daluo Empire and restore your reputation. Qin Yun is finished. He will no longer be a threat to you. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit paused for a moment and then said, From now on, you must listen to Barbarian King's arrangements. Yes. Luo Yingtian replied very straightforwardly. Hearing that Qin Yun had already finished, he felt very calm in his heart. He has been in contact with Qin Yun for a period of time. In his heart, Qin Yun is very great. It is impossible for him to be finished. The Universe Law Spirit and the Nine Heavens Law Spirit could not guide Luo Yingtian to truly break free from the bindings of the Universe Law. But Qin Yun could do it very easily. Therefore, Luo Yingtian prostrated himself in admiration towards Qin Yun. Oh, that's right. Do you have a way to regain control of the Devil Mirror Formation Foundation? The Nine Heavens Law Spirit asked. Only if we can attack the 4 divine suns. Otherwise, if we want to control it again, we will have to reconstruct the Devil Mirror Formation Foundation and promote our new Devil Mirror. This will take time. Moreover, we can't cover the outside of the sacred land. We can only play within the sacred land. We will not be a threat to the myriad realms divine court. Luo Yingtian said. Go and rebuild the Magic Mirror's foundation. Nine Heaven Law Spirit said. I will think of a way to attack the 4 divine suns. Oh, that's right. Discuss with the heavenly emperors of the other empires to destroy the 9 Heavens Island as soon as possible. Yes. Luo Yingtian promptly replied, but he is secretly alarmed. The 9 Heavens Law Spirit actually wants to destroy the 9 Heavens Island. Barbarian Emperor will come very soon. When the time comes, you just need to listen to his orders. He won't make things difficult for you, I already informed him. The 9 Heavens Law Spirit finished speaking and then left. Luo Yingtian sent off the 9 Heavens Law Spirit on his knees. His attitude is very humble. He is a person who knows when to submit and when to stand tall. In order to have the opportunity to grow, he is even willing to become a dog. Qin Yun is cultivating inside the dark space. He wants to cultivate in peace and cut off all connections with the outside world. He can't be distracted by anything, so he chose not to go out. Unknowingly, all his attention is focused on his Imperial Heaven Heart. My Imperial Heaven Heart is also at the beginning, but it is still far from enough. I still need to continue cultivating my Imperial Heaven Heart and fuse it with the Imperial Heaven Divine Technique. Qin Yun suddenly found a direction. Only when the Imperial Heaven Heart is strong enough can he control even more formidable power and control even more formidable Divine Sunday. It is impossible for him to absorb Divine Sun's energy or Divine Universe Golden Stone's energy. He needs to absorb Divine Sun Blood Seed liquid. However, there was very little Divine Sun Blood Seed fluid. It was simply not enough. Qin Yun took out the 2 Divine Sun Blood Seeds given to him by Luo Yingtian and decided to start implementing his crazy idea of duplicating the Divine Sun Blood Seed. His nether sun has duplication ability. The stronger he is, the stronger the energy he can duplicate. As for whether or not he could replicate the Divine Sun Blood Seed, he believed that it was possible in theory, but he had to try it to know. As long as I have a stable source of Divine Sun Blood Serum, I will be able to break through quickly. Even the 9 Heavens Dharma Spirits and the Universe Dharma Spirits have to plunder the universe's supermassive Divine Suns to find the Divine Sun Blood Seed. Qin Yun immediately began. Old Brother Taisher was not sure if he could successfully replicate the Divine Sun Blood Seed, but he felt that it was worth a try. However, the price he had to pay was that he might lose the precious Divine Sun Blood Seed in his hands. I want to chat with more like-minded people about? $article_title? Follow You Read Literature on WeChat, chatting about life and looking for a bosom friend. Chapter 33:25. Qin Yun released his Nether Sun and transferred it to the 9 Sun Divine Souls Nether Sun Pearl. The Divine Sun Blood Seed can only be formed by the extremely high pressure inside the Divine Sun. Qin Yun's Nether Sun is far from enough, so he needs to borrow the Great Nether Sun inside the Nether Sun Pearl. In addition, Ling Yun's Nether Sun is also needed. The fusion of 3 big and small Nether Suns will be even stronger, especially the Nether Sun's core. The cohesion will be even stronger. Ling Yun also released her soul into the core of the Great Nether Sunday. With her there, she can see the changes inside more clearly. Qin Yun took out a purple Divine Sun Blood Seed. It came from the core of a huge Divine Cosmos Purple Sunday. It was only the size of a thumb. He placed the Divine Sun Blood Seed into the Great Nether Sun in the Nether Sun Pearl and then urged his Nether Sun to release the duplication power. If he wanted to replicate it, he had to first dissolve the Divine Sun Blood Seed. This process was extremely difficult. As the outer walls of the Divine Sun Blood Seed were very tough, it was very difficult to pierce through and extract the Divine Sun Blood Seed fluid, much less dissolve the entire Divine Sun Blood Seed. Originally, Qin Yun planned to extract the Divine Sun Blood Seed fluid drop by drop in an attempt to replicate it. However, he also considered that a drop of the Divine Sun Blood Seed was too small for the Great Nether Sun core. It would be very difficult to precisely control it. Moreover, he wants to see if his Nether Sun core can dissolve this small drop of Divine Sun Blood Seed. Not only does he want to duplicate the Divine Sun Blood Seed, he also wants to duplicate the formidable outer wall of the Divine Sun Blood Seed. The process of dissolving was indeed very difficult. The Great Nether Sun itself could produce a very strong dissolving power and form an extremely strong pressure. The Divine Sun Blood Seed inside the core was like grinding in an extremely strong millstone. Even so, the Divine Sun Blood Seed did not dissolve. Qin Yun can only strengthen the Great Nether Sun's power and draw in other pearls' Divine Sun power. He drew in the Divine Universe Purple Sun, Heavenly Universe Divine Sun, White God Sun, and Primal Chaos Divine Sun's power for the Great Nether Sun to absorb. Qin Yun obtained Nether Sun's duplication ability from Bai Suxin's White Sunday. So now that Bai Shenyang's power has joined in, it will be of great help. After the power of several Divine Suns entered the Nether Sun, the Nether Sun's ability to dissolve quickly increased. 2 days later, the Divine Sun Blood liquid gradually dissolved, and the energy of the Divine Sun Blood liquid inside was gradually released. Qin Yun immediately controlled his Nether Sun's replication ability to absorb the Divine Sun Blood Seed's energy. He wants to see if he can memorize this energy. If he could successfully memorize it, Qin Yun would be able to sense it. Nether Sun has absorbed the dissolved Divine Sun Blood Seed's energy and is in the process of memorizing it. If it is a powerful energy, then it needs to absorb more to successfully memorize it, and then it can duplicate it. The energy of the Divine Sun Blood Seed was definitely very strong, and it would take some time to memorize it. It took the Nether Sun a few days to memorize this kind of energy. It absorbed almost all of the Divine Sun's energy. Qin Yun sensed that his Nether Sun has successfully replicated that kind of energy and became very excited in his heart. This means that the possibility of replicating the Divine Sun Blood Seed elixir has increased. Next was the little Nether Sun that he had cultivated himself. It needed to absorb energy and then create the Divine Sun Blood liquid's energy. Finally, the Great Nether Sun would release an extremely strong pressure to condense the Divine Sun Blood Seed. I don't lack energy. Qin Yun has many Divine Suns inside his 9 Sun Divine Spirit. They can provide him with energy. The energy his Nether Sun is currently replicating is the Divine Space Purple Sun's Divine Sun Blood Seed. He also has the Divine Space Purple Sun. He only needs to let the Purple Sun Pearl release energy into the Nether Sun Pearl. The formation of Divine Sun Blood Seed shouldn't require a very large amount of energy. Even a very large divine space purple sun can only condense a very small divine sun blood seed. Qin Yun believes that his divine space purple sun's energy should be enough. The reason why the divine sun blood seed can be formed should be related to the divine sun law spirit's cultivation. The higher the divine sun law spirit's perception is, the more it can cultivate and the bigger the divine sun blood seed will be. Old Brother Taisher said, "As for the required energy, it won't be too much but it won't be too little either." Qin Yun's little nether sun has devoured a lot of divine space purple sun's energy, but even after a very long time, it is still unable to produce the divine sun blood seed's energy. 5 days passed and Qin Yun gained nothing. The energy devoured by the little nether sun is unable to be transformed into the divine sun blood seed's energy. In the end, it can only be lost in the nether sun pearl, and then returned to the purple sun pearl. Qin Yun has no choice but to stop. After several days of testing, he is certain that the divine space purple sun's energy is unable to be transformed into the divine sun blood seed's energy. Strange, I clearly used the divine sun blood seed condensed by the divine space purple sun. Qin Yun looked at the remaining blue divine sun blood seed in his hand. This is the heavenly universe divine suns. The one he put in before was purple. Luo Yingtian also said that it was obtained from a very large divine space purple sundae. Maybe those super large divine suns don't use their own energy to cultivate and condense the divine sun blood seed. Old Brother Taisher said, "The divine sun can produce another kind of special energy crystal inside. Divine space golden stone?" Qin Yun said with a frown. These divine space golden stones are indeed produced by the divine sun. A very weak divine sun can only produce a very small piece of divine space golden stone inside. A super large divine sun like the myriad realms divine sun can not only produce a lot of divine space golden stone inside, the released energy can also be used to transform many stones into divine space golden stone. Qin Yun still has a few trillion divine space golden stones in his hands. In the previous few battles, as well as setting up formations, he used a few trillion. Although he has a lot of divine space golden stones in his hands, they will be used up after a period of time. He is still very lacking. Within the 9 Sun Holy Land, there is a large amount of divine space golden stones. It is almost inexhaustible. Even if a treasure land is completely excavated, under the illumination of the myriad realms' divine sun's energy, it will appear again after a period of time. Qin Yun immediately transferred a large amount of divine space golden stones into the center of the Nether Sun Pearl's great Nether Sundae. He let Ling Yun'er control the divine space golden stones and pour them into his little Nether Sundae. Then, Qin Yun used the duplication ability. Just a bit more than an hour later, the little nether sun reacted and released a faint purple energy mist. Qin Yun is very happy. He promptly controlled the great nether sun to release its power, gathered the purple energy mist together, and began condensing it into a divine sun blood seed. After the little nether sun absorbed more than 100 billion divine space golden stones, the purple energy mist finally condensed into a rice grain-sized purple divine sun blood seed. Although it is very small, it means success. Very good. I finally succeeded. As long as I have a large amount of divine space golden stones, I can have even more divine sun blood seeds. Qin Yun is very excited. He needs a large amount of divine sun blood seeds to cultivate. This means that in the future, not only his body can return, his soul can also return. Even the divine sun inside the 9 Sun Divine Spirit can return. At that time, his 9 Sun Divine Spirit's divine sun might be the strongest in this universe. Chapter 33:26. Although Qin Yun is only thinking about it now, it is very possible. What he needs is time. He has already grasped the ability to quickly copy and create divine sun blood seed energy. If he has a large amount of divine universe golden stones, then he should be able to transform the core of the divine sun into a huge divine sun blood seed in the future. Once the core of the divine sun core is transformed into a divine sun blood seed, it is hard to imagine how powerful it will be. Qin Yun continued to copy and create divine sun blood seed. Now he wants to make a bigger one. With his previous experience, he is now even more proficient. This time, he used 5 trillion divine universe golden stones, which piled up like a huge mountain. However, the divine sun blood seed that was formed in the end was only the size of a thumb. Previously, in order to record it for the little nether sun, he melted a divine sun blood seed that was also this big. Now he finally got it back and it is a bit bigger than the previous one. It is also purple in color. He continued to copy and created 2 more small divine sun blood seed. In total, he used up 15 trillion divine universe golden stones. Now he only has about 200 billion divine universe golden stones left. Now it is enough to cultivate Imperial Heaven Heart. The cultivation direction that Qin Yun comprehended in the Origin Realm is to cultivate the heart to become stronger. This requires the introduction of the divine sun blood seed. Extracting the liquid from the divine sun blood seed is very easy for Qin Yun. Ling Yun can do it herself. Qin Yun began absorbing the divine sun blood seed and introduced it into the Imperial Heaven Heart to refine it. My body is very strong. To be able to withstand so many powerful attacks from the 9 heavens lost spirits, this means that my body should also be hiding an equally powerful power, but I am unable to release it. Qin Yun can only use his body to release a bit of powerless power. His body should still have a very powerful power, but it is as if it is invisible and difficult to sense. Now that he was cultivating the heart of Imperial Heaven, on one hand, he wanted to extract more power from his body while his heart was beating. On the other hand, he wanted to strengthen his Imperial Heaven power, so that he could have greater control over the heavens and earth of the divine wilderness. There is a super large nether sun in the 9 sun sacred ground. It is definitely a very important place. Moreover, there are a large number of treasure lands in the 9 sun sacred ground. If he wants to obtain a large number of divine universe golden stones from these treasure lands, he must make his Imperial Heaven power even stronger. Qin Yun absorbed the divine sun blood seed liquid to cultivate. Time passed unknowingly, he himself did not notice it. The cultivation process is very comfortable. In a blink of an eye, 2 months had passed since Qin Yun entered the dark space. In the divine wilderness great era of the heavens, the situation was unpredictable and there were frequent changes. Luo Yingtian, who was forced to kneel by Qin Yun not long ago, has now revived the Daluo Empire and is challenging the divine court of myriad realms. This was incomprehensible. Luo Yingtian clearly knelt before Qin Yun in front of many people. Not long after that, Luo Yingtian went against Qin Yun. Qin Yun had not appeared for a very long time, and the heavyweights of the empires and Grand Prime organizations all announced that Qin Yun had been killed by them. This matter caused a huge commotion in the beginning, but after calming down, many people did not believe it. According to their understanding of Qin Yun, this divine king would not be so easily killed. Also, if Qin Yun was really killed by the new humans, his body would definitely be hung up. None of the big shots in the new human camp could provide evidence that Qin Yun was killed. For example, Qin Yun had killed Azure Fire King and Crown Prince of Origin Luo in public. That was very convincing. The new human camp was so hostile to Qin Yun. If they could really kill Qin Yun, they would definitely record the process. However, they did not do so, so no one believed such a thing without evidence. It was true that Qin Yun had not appeared for a very long time. However, many people thought that it was normal for a big shot like Qin Yun to cultivate in seclusion from time to time. The most sensational matter in the Nine-Sun Sacred Land was when Barbarian King led his barbarian race and announced that he was the leader of all the new human alliance in the Nine-Sun Sacred Land. The four empires and Grand Prime forces also recognized him as the leader of the entire alliance. Just like that, the Nine-Sun Sacred Land was ruled by the barbarian race. The divine court of myriad realms had just set up 100 cities in the Daluo Empire, but they quickly retreated. As for the Vermilion Bird Treasure Lands and the White Tiger Treasure Lands, they became very low-key and did not say anything at this time. The powerful races outside the Nine-Sun Sacred Land were more or less worried because Qin Yun had entered the Nine-Sun Sacred Land in a high-profile manner. They thought that his order would come to the Nine-Sun Sacred Land, but not long after, it was beaten back to its original state. The patriarchs of the powerful races could understand. After all, they could not help much in such matters. It was all up to Qin Yun to fight alone. If he was really tired and injured, everyone could understand. The powerful races outside the Sacred Land were still very respectful of Qin Yun because the new human alliance inside the Sacred Land did not dare to come outside. The deterrence of the divine court of myriad realms was still there. Luo Shuang and Luo Shu were inside the Daluo Imperial Palace. They used to be hostile to each other, but they were now on Qin Yun's side, so they did not care about the past. They were now in Luo Yingtian's secret chamber. Luo Yingtian wanted to meet them in secret. Luo Shuang was still very confused. Although she was Qin Yun's person, she still knew nothing about the whole situation. She only felt that Luo Yingtian had suddenly become powerful, so he wanted to resist Qin Yun. Among my children, you two and Phoenix are the most outstanding. Phoenix will definitely not come to see me, so I can only let you come. Luo Yingtian suddenly appeared in the secret chamber. Luo Shuang and Luo Shu did not greet their father. They used to be very dissatisfied with their father. I know you all hate me. But now, just like you, I am his subordinate. Luo Yingtian said. I am not the Divine King's subordinate, you are. Luo Shu snorted and immediately explained. We are allies. Luo Shuang and Luo Yingtian did not refute. After all, their souls were branded with Qin Yun's soul contract, but Luo Shu did not. I thought you had betrayed us. Luo Shuang said coldly. Since you are still on this ship, why are you fighting against the divine court of myriad realms? You should be fighting against barbarian sovereign. Luo Shuang, your brain is sometimes so simple. Do you think I can defeat barbarian sovereign? Although I am fighting against the divine court of myriad realms, I did not do anything substantial, only shouted. The other empires all shouted like this. Who would dare to mess with the divine court of myriad realms now? Isn't that courting death? Luo Yingtian shook his head and smiled. Then why did you call us here? Luo Shu asked. I want to know the divine king's current situation. How is he? Luo Yingtian asked. You should be considered as his women? You should know his situation. Luo Shuang and Luo Shu snorted unhappily. I am not his woman. I don't know his situation. Luo Shu immediately answered. Luo Yingtian, do you think everyone is like you, taking in one after another? Luo Shuang said coldly. I also don't know the Divine King's situation. Chapter 33:27. Luo Yingtian was somewhat disappointed. He shrugged his shoulders and said, You guys are really disappointing. I'm guessing that Phoenix definitely has an affair with the Divine King. She's better than you guys in this aspect. Luo Yingtian, you want to be the Divine King's father-in-law? Luo Shuang sneered. Luo Shu was truly speechless. However, she was rather curious about the relationship between Qin Yun and Phoenix Queen because there were all sorts of rumors in the Vermilion Bird Treasure Ground. Let's get back to the main topic. Regarding the Divine King's current situation, you should have heard something, right? Luo Yingtian couldn't find a direction because he was worried that barbarian sovereign would make him lead the great Luo Empire to attack the Nine Sun Sacred Land. Qin Yun's previous instructions were to let him act according to the circumstances and try his best to gain the trust of Nine Heavens Law Spirits. Luo Yingtian had already gained the trust of Nine Heavens Law Spirits, otherwise they wouldn't have given him the precious divine Sun Blood Seed. What's the current situation in the Nine Sun Sacred Land? Luo Shu asked. It's difficult for the Myriad Realms Divine Court to operate in the Nine Sun Sacred Land. At most, they can only build cities in the White Tiger and Vermilion Bird Treasure Land. Once they leave these two regions, they will become target. Luo Yingtian said. Barbarian Sovereign is now leading us Celestial Emperors and Taisher factions. Luo Yingtian was very dissatisfied with this. It wasn't just him, the other three Celestial Emperors were the same. However, they couldn't do anything because they weren't Barbarian Sovereign's match. Barbarian Sovereign had once lost to Nine Heavens Law Spirits and was seriously injured. His injuries had yet to fully recover, but Luo Yingtian and the others still couldn't defeat Barbarian Sovereign. Facing the powerful Barbarian Sovereign, they could only submit. Right, Barbarian Sovereign isn't in a hurry to attack the Myriad Realms Divine Court. He wants to take down Nine Heavens Island. Luo Yingtian was also filled with doubts. Nine Heavens Law Spirits had previously warned him to discuss with the other three Celestial Emperors to destroy Nine Heavens Island. He had indeed gone to discuss with the other three Celestial Emperors, but the final result was that they couldn't handle the matter. They could only hand the matter over to Barbarian Sovereign. Barbarian Sovereign only said that this matter needed everyone to work together and contribute resources to attack Nine Heavens Island. As for how to attack Nine Heavens Island, there was no plan yet. Why Nine Heavens Island? Logically speaking, the Vermilion Bird Paradise Lands and White Tiger Paradise Lands should be taken first. These two treasured lands belong to the Divine Court of the Myriad Realms, and they are within the Nine Sun Sacred Ground. The Barbarian Sovereign rules the Nine Sun Sacred Ground. If he uses these two treasured lands to establish his dominance, the other giants will be even more afraid of him. Luo Shu was also very puzzled. There are only two possibilities. The Nine Heavens Island is a great threat, or perhaps the Barbarian Sovereign is not strong enough. The Barbarian Sovereign said that he had fought with the Nine Suns Law Spirit, and now that he has returned, he might have been injured. Luo Yingtian said, when you go back, send the information about the attack on Nine Heavens Island to the Divine Judge and the others. Luo Shuang and Luo Shu left immediately. Luo Shuang didn't need to deliver the information as she had her own important task, which was to collect information about Wang Tiange. She was sure that Wang Tiange had given up on her. She felt that she had made a great contribution to Wang Tiange, but now that Wang Tiange had turned his back on her, she wanted to get back at Wang Tiange. Qin Yun, who was cultivating in the dark space, gradually sensed the hidden power in his body as his heart of Imperial Heaven absorbed the divine Sun Blood Seed. So that's how it is. After the Origin Realm, a very formidable power is sealed in the body. If one wants to control this power, one must first have a strong heart. Qin Yun also doesn't know how much power he has released. Previously, it was because of this hidden power that he was able to survive the fierce attack of the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. After absorbing the rest of the divine Sun Blood Seed, Qin Yun has already cultivated in the dark space for more than 3 months. The power of my right arm has been dug out. Qin Yun clenched his right fist. The power is much stronger than before. After pouring in the lawless power, the power became even more ferocious. It's not enough to defeat the Nine Heavens Law Spirit, old brother Taisher said, but if it's against the Barbarian Sovereign, it definitely won't lose. Qin Yun closed his eyes and recalled the scene when he faced the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. Fear emerged in his heart once again, but he immediately suppressed it. The Nine Suns Law Spirit attacked the Barbarian Sovereign, so the Nine Heavens Law Spirit attacked me. Now that we are even, if I go out and the Nine Heavens Law Spirit attacks me again, the Nine Suns Law Spirit will definitely appear to stop it. Qin Yun is somewhat depressed. The Nine Suns Law Spirit attacked someone else's little brother and now, he is being beaten by someone else's boss. He secretly despises these two big shot. Why don't they have a good fight? What's the point of bullying the weak? This won't do. After I go out, I will ruthlessly beat up the barbarian sovereign. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit injured me, I can't take this lying down. Qin Yun has been beaten up, he is filled with displeasure. Moreover, he just set up a trap in the Nine Sun sacred ground and it was destroyed just like that. He wants to go back and reverse the situation. Wait a minute, why did the Nine Heavens Law Spirit lock onto me so quickly? How did he discover me? Qin Yun asked his old brother Taisher while holding the divine mirror of primal beginning. If he went out, he would definitely be discovered by the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. He can't be found by the Nine Heavens Law Spirit right now. Even if the Nine Suns Law Spirit attacked him, he would be injured again if the Nine Suns Law Spirit attacked him. Use lawless power, coordinate with the God King Heavenly Seal and the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern boxes to carve the Heavenly Rune characters. Old Brother Taisher said, this move will definitely work. Qin Yun took out all his Bloodline Heavenly Pattern boxes and Godly Monarch Heavenly Seal. Then, he poured in his powerless power and formed a hidden heavenly pattern on the seal's surface. He placed a forceful imprint on the position of his heart, which could be considered an imprint on his own body. This should be enough. I'll go out and give it a try. If I'm still discovered, I'll hide in the dark space again. Qin Yun asked the little queen ant to escort him to the vicinity of the Vermilion Bird treasure ground. After coming out, he immediately sneaked into the Vermilion Bird treasured ground. He was worried that the magic mirror would be monitored, so he didn't use it to contact others. He first went to the Phoenix Queen's palace, found the Phoenix Queen, and asked her to help him secretly spread the news. Everything in the Vermilion Bird treasure ground was very calm. There was no attack, which surprised Qin Yun. His previous speculation was that the Vermilion Bird treasure grounds and the White Tiger treasure grounds would be attacked by the entire new human tribe, and they would have no choice but to leave the Nine Sun sacred ground. He arrived at the Phoenix Palace, but the Phoenix Queen was not there. However, he found General Chu Limin, who could be considered the second in command of the Phoenix Kingdom. Chu Limin was pleasantly surprised to see Qin Yun come to Phoenix Palace. Where's your queen? Qin Yun asked hurriedly. He went to Nine Heavens Island. The four great empires, the barbarian race, and many Taisher powers are attacking Nine Heavens Island together. Chu Limin said, the Myriad Realms Divine Court Alliance wants to protect Nine Heavens Island. What the hell? Qin Yun was stunned. Isn't Nine Heavens Island a Grand Prime Force? Why were they besieged? Moreover, the Divine Court of the Myriad Worlds had to protect them. Divine King, you didn't know? Chu Limin saw that Qin Yun is fine and relaxed a lot. She is sure that the rumors were false. Because Qin Yun had not appeared for many days, rumors in the Nine Sun sacred ground said that he was finished. I have been in seclusion during this period of time, so I have cut off all contact with the outside world, Qin Yun replied. I want to chat with more like-minded people about $article_title. Follow you read literature on WeChat chatting about life and looking for a bosom friend. Chapter 33:28. When General Chu Limin saw Qin Yun's reaction, she felt extremely puzzled. From her point of view, the matter regarding Nine Heavens Island is very important and Qin Yun should know about it. Nine Heavens Island has a very strong beast sealed. I heard that this beast's strength surpasses the divine space realm and is a very special existence. Chu Limin said, Barbarian Emperor and the others want to obtain this beast. If it really falls into their hands, it will be very bad. Qin Yun immediately thought that the beast might be the same as the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. They both cultivated a very powerful body by absorbing the divine sun blood seed liquid. This time, the Nine Heavens Law Spirit did not make a move. This meant that the barbarian emperor could handle this matter, or that the Nine Heavens Law Spirit could not leave and would most likely fight with the Nine Sun Law Spirit. General Chu, how much do you know about that hand? Who told you? Qin Yun asked. It was the Nine Heavens Island Master who asked us for help and then told us the details. Chu Limin said. When he found out that you were unable to come out, he was also very worried. Soon after, Chu Limin told Qin Yun the details. After Qin Yun finished listening, he immediately headed for Nine Heavens Island. There was no teleportation formation to directly reach Nine Heavens Island because Nine Heavens Island is currently in a multi-layered space. Nine Heavens Law Spirit, don't even think about obtaining that beast. Last time, he seriously injured me and thought that I was finished. It won't be that easy. I want to let him know the consequences of provoking me. Not only does Qin Yun want to snatch that beast, he also wants to ruthlessly beat up the barbarian emperor. Nine Heavens Island is still within the Nine Sun Sacred Land. According to the island master, they need to borrow the energy within the Nine Sun Sacred Land for the beast to absorb and awaken. The reason why the Nine Heavens Law Spirit was able to awaken before was because the various major powers had jointly injected energy into it, allowing it to break through the barrier of the Heavenly Tomb Mountain. The beast in Nine Heavens Island is not as powerful as the Nine Heavens Law Spirit, so it doesn't need to absorb too much energy. These days, Nine Heavens Island has been secretly trying to awaken that beast, but in the end, it was still discovered by the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. Could it be that the Universe Law Spirit and the Nine Heavens Law Spirit did not know that Nine Heavens Island had this beast? In that case, how did this beast grow to this stage? Qin Yun was even more puzzled. He wanted to know the specific situation of the beast. He could only understand it by seeing it. He flew quickly in the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. Along the way, he used the magic mirror to contact the Grand Inquisitor, but he couldn't reach him. This meant that the multi-layered space where Nine Heavens Island was located was very powerful, and the magic mirror had lost contact with it after entering it. Qin Yun contacted Yu Shangyun, but he could not contact her either. She should be inside the moon's core with the divine moon's little magic spirit. Finally, he contacted Nangong Shuiru of the Guanghan Palace. He reported his safety to the Guanghan Palace so that they wouldn't worry. After flying for an entire day, the sky-leaping shuttle finally approached the spatial entrance where the Nine Heavens Island was. When Qin Yun arrived, he looked down at the ground from high up in the sky. He was extremely shocked because that space was under a very large sinkhole. This sinkhole was not man-made, but formed naturally. When the Nine Sun Sacred Ground was formed, there were multiple spaces inside the pit. The fact that it could maintain the operation of these multiple spaces meant that it was a very special super treasure ground. It was indeed not easy for the Nine Heavens Island to find this place. After Qin Yun came out of the heaven-leaping shuttle to conceal himself, he paid attention to the surroundings of the 10,000-meter-wide sinkhole. From time to time, he discovered some people flying around. He looked from afar and determined that those people are from the New Beginning human camp. It seems like all the big shots have gone in. Qin Yun didn't sense any experts in the vicinity, so he entered the sinkhole. After going down, he quickly sensed that he has entered another space. His surroundings also turned white. Qin Yun looked down and discovered that he is rapidly falling down and there is a spatial barrier below. Just like this, he fell down and finally passed through 18 layers of space and landed in a dense forest. This space is very powerful. Old Brother Taisher said, there are a total of 18 layers. Although it is a special spatial treasure ground that was born along with the Nine Sun Sacred Ground, I guess that it was created by Divine Desolate's consciousness. If this is a treasure ground, why is there no barrier? It is impossible for such a powerful treasure ground to not have a barrier, Qin Yun doubtfully said, then took out the soul-chasing talisman used to track down the Divine Judge. Very quickly, he determined the direction of the Divine Judge. There must be a barrier, it's just that the barrier has disappeared. Only by controlling this treasure ground can the barrier stop. Old Brother Taisher warned, you have to be careful, this might be a trap. Qin Yun carefully thought about it and can't help but shiver. This is the 18 layers of space, moreover, a large number of Divine Desolate experts have gathered here. If they were trapped here and devoured, it would indeed be a very big trap. It is as if someone is deliberately hunting this group of Divine Desolate experts. Qin Yun also made the connection that there was a beast here. Could it be that the beast was secretly instructing Nine Heavens Island Lord to deliberately lure the experts from the Divine Wilderness over? If the Nine Heaven Island surrenders to the Myriad Realms Divine Court, then the Divine Judge will indeed come in contact with the Nine Heaven Island Master. Qin Yun began to worry. He can only speed up and fly to the Divine Judge's side. He must find them as soon as possible. Many experts from the Myriad Realms Divine Court have come this time, such as the Heavenly Dragon Emperor Long Shu, Dragon Turtle King, Phoenix Queen, Nine Dragon King, and other big shots of powerful races and kingdoms. The Nine Heaven Island Master must have promised a very generous reward, or there is a huge benefit here. That's why they took such action. Qin Yun can see 2 golden suns in this 18-layer space. He can't be sure if it is the little divine sun in this space, or if it is just an illusion. He flew for half a day, and after flying out of the forest, he looked at the 2 golden suns in the sky and discovered that they did not move at all. It seems like they are there to illuminate this space. However, he can sense the energy of the divine sun. Could it be that there is no night in this space? Qin Yun flew out of the forest and arrived above a large swamp. The swamp seems to be filled with danger. He did not go down to avoid wasting time. This space is very strange, you have to be careful. Old Brother Taisher warned and also controlled the divine mirror of Primal beginning to shake. Got it! Just as Qin Yun finished speaking, the swamp below suddenly spewed out black gas. The black gas was filled with a foul stench, and at the same time, it was accompanied by an aura that Qin Yun felt was very familiar with. This is the aura of the heavenly poison divine sun? Qin Yun said in surprise. The heavenly poison divine sun is also a very rare type of divine sunday. He has the sun seed of the heavenly poison divine sun, but he never knew how to create this kind of divine sunday. Chapter 33:29. Why is there the aura of the heaven poison divine sun here? Qin Yun looked at the black gas that spewed out from time to time. He was extremely shocked. This heaven poison divine sun's aura was extremely dense. It was definitely not something that a small portion of it could release. Qin Yun used the divine mirror of Grand beginning to illuminate the swamp below, allowing old Brother Taisher to take a closer look. Could there be a small heaven poison divine sun sealed below? Qin Yun asked. It's not a small heaven poison divine sun sealed, but a core. From this aura, this should be a very complete and very powerful divine sun core. Old Brother Taisher became excited and said, Qin Yun, you must obtain this core. With this thing and the sun seed of the heaven poison divine sun in your hand, you can quickly create a heaven poison divine sunday. Qin Yun had originally planned on giving Barbarian Sovereign a beating, but he never expected to encounter a heaven poison divine sun core. This was a very unexpected harvest. But why is there a heaven poison divine sun core here? Qin Yun said in puzzlement, this 18 space was naturally formed. Could the heaven poison divine sun core have always been here? Qin Yun floated in the air as he looked at the boundless land around him. Among the 18 spaces there was such a vast piece of land. This was also not naturally formed. Then there was only one possibility. This land was Nine Heavens Island. The core of the heaven-poisoned divine sun was sealed in Nine Heavens Island. The reason why Qin Yun was able to come into contact with the heaven-poisoned divine sun was mainly because of a chance encounter. He encountered a fragment of the heaven-poisoned divine sun that fell onto the land of the divine moon of the heavens. At that time, he obtained the sun seed from the fragment. Furthermore, through the heaven-poisoned divine sun's energy, he researched the soul lost due. It was mainly used to deal with those souls that were difficult to kill, such as the descendants of the divine sun. As long as the heaven-poisoned divine sun's energy was used properly, it could be used to exterminate the descendants of the divine sun. The heaven-poisoned divine sun was a very rare type of divine sun, and it was completely extinct because of this reason. Qin Yun thought of the descendants of the divine sun. They were a huge hidden danger. Currently, they were only in the ancestor divine sun, second divine sun and 3 divine Sunday. Ever since the appearance of the 4 divine suns, the descendants of the divine suns were unable to invade the interior of the divine suns. This was mainly because when Qin Yun created the 4 divine suns, he accidentally made the subsequent divine suns naturally resist the invasion of the divine sun's descendants. If there were 9 myriad worlds divine suns in the future and 3 of them were destroyed by the descendants of the divine suns, it would be enough to trigger the destruction of the other divine suns. Where did this Nine Heavens Island come from? To actually seal such a powerful heavenly poison divine sun core. Qin Yun opened his heavenly eye to carefully investigate the core, and then let Ling Yun'er come out. Ling Yun'er was now considered half a divine sun's Dharma spirit. She could sense if there was a spirit body in the divine sun's core. There are no spirit bodies in this divine sun core. It's an empty divine sun core. Ling Yun'er said excitedly, "Xiao Yun, let's take this core now. Put it into the 9 yang divine soul, and then put in the sun seed. After feeding it for a period of time, a heavenly poison divine sun will appear." Ling Yun'er naturally knew about Qin Yun's 9 sun divine spirits cultivation plan. He needed a total of 9 divine suns to reach the large success stage. Qin Yun floated in midair, his heart stirred. Suddenly, Qin Yun felt a trace of danger. "Yun'er, quickly go in." Qin Yun immediately placed Ling Yun'er into the 9 sun divine spirit. Just as Ling Yun'er entered the 9 sun divine spirit, a white-robed old man with straight black hair appeared behind Qin Yun. The old man's face is slightly wrinkled. His eyebrows and beard are white, but he has waist-length jet-black hair. 9 Heavens Island Master? Qin Yun asked uncertainly when he saw the old man. He has never seen the 9 Heavens Island Master before. Furthermore, he heard that the 9 Heavens Island Master has many faces. He is not sure what he looks like. "Divine King, you're finally here." 9 Heavens Island Master stroked his beard and said with a smile, "Barbarian Emperor personally told me that you're finished. Are you really alright?" He still suspects that Qin Yun's condition is not good enough because he can't see through Qin Yun. Qin Yun also said with a smile, 9 Heavens Island Master, do you think I look like I'm seriously injured? Doesn't look like it. 9 Heavens Island Master shook his head and said with a smile, because you plan to steal the heavenly poison divine sun core below. Steal. Qin Yun scratched his head and said with a laugh, 9 Heavens Island Master, your words are somewhat unpleasant to hear. The heavenly poison divine sun core belongs to my 9 Heavens Island. 9 Heavens Island Master said with a chuckle. I thought it didn't have an owner. Qin Yun very much wants to take away the heavenly poison divine sun core. This is a great opportunity. However, the 9 Heavens Island Master before him is very strange. He is not confident that he can take away the heavenly poison divine sun core in front of this guy. If you want it, I can give it to you. 9 Heavens Island Master said with beaming smile, But I have two conditions. What conditions? Qin Yun raised his eyebrows and asked with a smile. First, I want a divine sun blood seed. Second, help me drive away barbarian emperor. Nine Heavens Island Master suddenly said very seriously. This heavenly poison divine sun core is something I risked my old life to secretly leave here. The universe law spirit still doesn't know about this matter. Qin Yun is very curious about Nine Heavens Island Master and asked, Island Master, are you friend or foe? I am the same as you, I want to walk the path I want to walk. Nine Heavens Island Master said, Actually, I am not a human. I am a spirit body of a special space, but I have never been able to transform into a real human. The me you see is a puppet body formed from all kinds of materials. Special space spirit body? Qin Yun somewhat understands the existence of this Nine Heavens Island. So Nine Heavens Island is a space, and it even produced its own spirit body. This is indeed very special. I can fulfill both of your conditions. But I have one thing to understand. How did Barbarian Emperor and the others come in? Don't these 18 layers of space have any barrier? Qin Yun asked. When I came in, I was very relaxed. It made me feel like this is a trap. If they can't come in, they will definitely attack. This 18-layer space is a very rare child. I don't want it to be destroyed because of this. So I set up a trap and waited for Barbarian Emperor and the others to come in. But I underestimated their strength. Nine Heavens Island Master let out a long sigh. He looked at the two golden suns in the sky and said, When you came in, I sensed it, but I couldn't be sure. Because even I thought that you had already been killed by the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. Currently, only Qin Yun can fight against Barbarian Emperor. Even if he can't defeat Barbarian Emperor, as long as he can keep him in check, the rest will not be a problem. I'll take this core first. Qin Yun said. Only after obtaining this core can I be more at ease to fight Barbarian Emperor. Alright. Nine Heavens Island Master readily agreed. He also knows that Qin Yun still doesn't trust him and is afraid of being tricked. After Nine Heavens Island Master agreed, he waved his hand and the swamp suddenly stopped moving up and down. Then, a huge black ball slowly floated up. This huge ball emitted a deep black-purple aura. The poisonous aura it spewed out swept up waves of furious howling gale. Many tyrannical energy aura collided and produced dark purple lightning. Chapter 33:30. The heavenly poison divine sun's core slowly floated in the air. This core is much larger than Qin Yun imagined, and its quality is also very high. God King, I believe that with your ability, even without this core, you will definitely be able to create the heavenly poison divine Sunday. But that will take a very long time. In the universe, the heavenly poison divine sun is almost extinct. You definitely won't be able to find a second one. Nine Heaven Island Lord's eyes are filled with sadness. He raised his head to look at the core as if he is recalling something. It can be seen that the core of the heavenly poison divine sun has a story. This should be the last core of the heavenly poison divine Sunday. Back then, I paid a huge price to secretly take it away. Qin Yun said, I can chase away Barbarian Emperor, protect your Nine Heaven Island, and give you a divine sun blood seed. The price you paid back then was not in vain, right? In order to take away this core, your main goal is still the divine sun blood seed, right? Nine Heaven Island Lord did not deny it. He nodded and said, Indeed, for the divine sun blood seed, I obtained a small bit, only the size of a grain of sand. However, I still didn't understand how to use it. The heavenly poison divine sun also has a divine sun blood seed. Is the heavenly poison divine sun blood seed still there? Qin Yun immediately asked. He believes that since the heavenly poison divine sun is so special, then the divine sun blood seed liquid must also be very special. Nine Heaven Island Lord took out a large black box. It is as tall as 2 people. It can be seen that the box is sealed with layers of barriers. It's still here, but it's very dangerous. I'll give it to you along with the heavenly poison divine sun's core. 9 Heaven Island Lord controlled the box to float towards Qin Yun. Qin Yun accepted the box and a few jade talismans. They are used to unlock the box's seal. God King, how are you going to take away this core? 9 Heaven Island Lord said. The aura of the heavenly poison divine sun must have leaked out. Barbarian Emperor and the others will definitely be able to sense it. You better act quickly. Qin Yun is still very cautious about this. He did not immediately keep the 9 Sun Divine Spirit. Instead, he entered the core to check if there was anything hidden inside to avoid trouble. Previously, the 9 Sun Divine Spirit's evil Sun Core had the consciousness of the Universe Law Spirit. After a series of detailed inspection, Qin Yun confirmed that there was no problem with the core. Then, he placed it inside a pearl of the 9 Yang Divine Soul and named it Sky Poison Pearl. The conditions for the formation of the Sky Poison Divine Sun are very harsh. Even the universe's magical spirit doesn't understand how it is formed. However, as long as the core exists, then with enough energy, this Sky Poison Divine Sun can be reborn, said 9 Heavens Island Lord. Qin Yun nodded. He had the sun seed of the heavenly poison divine sun, but to create a heavenly poison divine sun from scratch was indeed very difficult. Let's go, take me to the barbarian emperor, Qin Yun said. After I chase him away, I'll give you a divine sun blood seed. Qin Yun only had one divine sun bloodline, but it was the heavenly cosmos divine sun bloodline. He wanted to keep it as a sample for replication. Therefore, he had to find some time to duplicate the divine universe purple sun blood seed. Only then could he give it to 9 Heavens Island Lord. There was no contract in this transaction, but Qin Yun and 9 Heavens Island Lord trusted each other. He should be coming. The 9 Heavens Island Lord said, I released the seal just now and let the core float in order to lure the barbarian sovereign over. Qin Yun looked around and said, This swamp is indeed very suitable for fighting. He has now occupied the most central area of my 9 Heavens Island. If you fight in the central area, it will be razed to the ground. Divine King, when you fight him, try your best not to let him run around. 9 Heavens Island Lord said. Actually, 9 Heavens Island Lord doesn't want any part of the island to be destroyed. He is the spirit of the island is his body. I will conceal myself first. I want to see if he can sense me or not. Qin Yun finished speaking and immediately concealed himself. His body has a very powerful concealment, heavenly rune character. If barbarian sovereign can't sense him, it means that by using lawless power and bloodline heavenly rune box to carve the concealment, heavenly rune character, all aspects will be greatly improved. 9 Heavens Island Lord nodded and floated in the sky, waiting for barbarian sovereign to arrive. His body is just a puppet body refined from all kinds of materials. It doesn't matter if it is destroyed, so he is not afraid at all. As expected, barbarian sovereign arrived. Moreover, he is very leisurely, as if he is not in a hurry. After all, in 9 Heavens Island, barbarian sovereign is the strongest. He can crush anyone, so 9 Heavens Island is like his back garden. Barbarian sovereign is very handsome, his face is like jade, his long hair is fluttering in the wind. He is wearing white clothes that emit faint silver light, making him look like a handsome man who walked out of a painting. His aura is very strong. He slowly flew over with a folding fan in hand. Nearby him are the celestial emperors of the 4 empires, as well as many big shots of Taisher powers. When Qin Yun saw a barbarian sovereign, he mumbled in his heart, really good at acting. After barbarian sovereign saw 9 Heavens Island Lord, he faintly smiled and said, I really didn't expect Island Lord to have such a generous gift, thank you so much. This must be the core of the heavenly poison divine sun, right? Nine Heavens Island Lord is somewhat astonished because Barbarian Sovereign didn't discover Qin Yun hiding nearby. This made him secretly excited. After all, even Barbarian Sovereign didn't discover Qin Yun. It means that Qin Yun is a level higher. Now that you are here, aren't you afraid that big guy will suddenly wake up? Nine Heavens Island Lord said with smile. No, no, even if that beast wakes up, it will be mine in the end. What's more, Nine Heavens Island Lord, you will definitely help me look after it. Moreover, there is also the Divine Judge and the others guarding it. Barbarian Sovereign chuckled and said, They are talking about the mysterious beast sealed by Nine Heavens Island. Barbarian Sovereign, I indeed want to give the core of the heavenly poison Divine Sun as a gift, but not to you because you don't deserve it. Nine Heavens Island Lord said. I don't deserve it? Then who is worthy? Nine Heavens Law Spirit? Nine Heavens Law Spirit? Universe Law Spirit? Barbarian Sovereign slightly frowned and said, I want to give it to the Divine King. Nine Heavens Island Lord said. Nine Heavens Island Lord is startled, then said with smile, So it is for me. I am now the Divine King of Divine Desolate. Nine Heavens Law Spirit and Universe Law Spirit support me. Nine Heavens Island Lord coldly snorted and said, You are from the Outerverse. What's more, who among the powerful native races of Divine Desolate will submit to you? If anyone doesn't submit, I will beat them until they submit. No, if anyone doesn't submit, I will exterminate them. Barbarian Sovereign said with smile. Nine Heavens Island Lord, do you submit to me now? Nine Heavens Island Lord is very anxious because Qin Yun has not made a move yet, making him think that Qin Yun has already slipped away. He is also unable to sense whether Qin Yun is here or not. Divine King of Divine Desolate, other than Qin Yun, I will not submit to anyone. Nine Heavens Island Lord shouted loudly. He is reminding Qin Yun, the Divine King, that it is time to take action. I want to chat with more like-minded people about $article_title? WeChat follows, you do literature, chat about life, find a bosom friend. Chapter 33-31. Qin Yun still hasn't made a move. This made Nine Heaven Island Lord sweat profusely. He can't help but suspect that Qin Yun secretly slipped away. If Qin Yun really slipped away, then it would be a great loss. Ha ha ha! Barbarian Emperor laughed heartily as if he heard a joke. The people beside him also laughed. Luo Yingtian also came, but it's only a clone. Moreover, it's a very powerful clone. Only Qin Yun can see that it's a powerful true body that Luo Yingtian has just cultivated. Of course Qin Yun didn't slip away. The main reason why he is still here is to test the limit of the invisible, heavenly rune. He is approaching Barbarian Emperor bit by bit. He wants to test the range of Barbarian Emperor's perception. That's why he hasn't made a move yet. Nine Heaven Island Lord, Qin Yun was once the Divine King of Divine Desolate. Only those weaklings outside the sacred land acknowledge him. He's nothing but a chicken head. We have never acknowledged him as the Divine King. Now we only acknowledge Lord Barbarian Emperor among all the Divine Desolate's Divine Kings. The one who spoke is Supreme Palace Lord. The Supreme Hall used to lick the boots of the Daluo Empire, but now the four empires were led by the Barbarian Emperor. The big shots of the Taisher powers and the celestial emperors of the empires had to be polite to the 10 barbarian kings. The Divine King is in seclusion, he will come soon. To tell you the truth, he has already made an agreement with me to research that mysterious ancient beast together. Nine Heaven Island Lord became even more anxious seeing that Qin Yun still hasn't shown up. When did that happen? The smile on Barbarian Emperor's face suddenly disappeared because only he knew that although Qin Yun had been defeated by the Nine Heavens Law Spirit, there was no corpse and his soul could not be found. Barbarian Emperor once asked Nine Heaven Law Spirit whether Qin Yun was truly killed or not. Nine Heaven Law Spirit didn't give a direct answer, and only said that Qin Yun is finished. That's why Barbarian Emperor only said that Qin Yun is finished. He didn't say anything about Qin Yun being killed. Just a few days ago. Divine King's condition is pretty good. He chatted with me and even gave me pointers. Nine Heaven Island Lord said with a smile. Barbarian Emperor became vigilant. He is no longer as arrogant as before. Everyone was stunned when they saw the barbarian sovereign's reaction. They all thought that Qin Yun had been killed. The fact that the barbarian sovereign was so vigilant after learning that Qin Yun had come to find Nine Heavens Island Lord meant that Qin Yun's death was not as simple as it seemed. Suddenly, an extremely powerful mental energy enveloped the area. Everyone felt as if their souls were being squeezed by someone. Just when everyone was panicking, the bloodthirsty barbarian king beside the barbarian emperor said in a deep voice, "This is the barbarian emperor's mental power. Everyone, don't be nervous." Even Nine Heavens Island Lord thought that it was Qin Yun who had taken action. He was originally very happy when he felt the powerful mental power pressure, but when he found out that it was barbarian sovereign, he felt even more uneasy. Now, everyone knew why the barbarian sovereign released such a powerful mental power. It was to sense if Qin Yun was nearby. Barbarian sovereign closed his eyes and focused on sensing his surroundings. He was truly worried that Qin Yun was nearby. The main reason was that he was seriously injured in the battle with the Nine Yang Law Spirit. Especially the injuries on his body, it was difficult for him to recover in a short period of time. If Qin Yun came, he might not be able to defeat him. On the other hand, Qin Yun's strength is unfathomable. Barbarian Sovereign seriously asked the Nine Heaven Law Spirit who was stronger between him and Qin Yun. The Nine Heaven Law Spirit directly replied that it was Qin Yun. After a while, Barbarian Sovereign retracted his mental power and said, "Qin Yun is not nearby." Nine Heavens Island Lord's heart turned cold. He now truly believes that Qin Yun has already run away. Nine Heavens Island Lord, you can now hand over the heavenly poison divine sun's core. Barbarian Sovereign said seriously. This core should have belonged to the universe law spirit back then, right? It was just that you secretly hid it. I advise you to cooperate a bit. That core has already been taken away by the Divine King. Nine Heavens Island Lord sighed and said, "Not long ago." Everyone was in an uproar at first, then they started cursing in disdain, thinking that the Nine Heavens Island Lord was lying. "Really?" Barbarian Sovereign asked with frown. "Then where did he go?" "Really? He said that he would drive you out. I also don't know where he went. I made a deal with him and gave him the core. He promised to help me drive you out." Nine Heavens Island Lord said with a bitter smile. Barbarian Sovereign's expression gradually turned grave, because he believed in Nine Heavens Island Lord's words. Right now, he had a feeling that he was being watched by something. However, he was unable to determine if this feeling was caused by his heart or not. Nine Heavens Law Spirit had once said that his strength was inferior to Qin Yun's, so he had always had this knot in his heart. Qin Yun watched from the shadows. Just now, he also felt that Barbarian Sovereign's mental power was indeed very strong, but he was still unable to discover him. The power of the heaven-concealing rune far exceeded his imagination. Of course, this heaven-concealing rune also has a time limit. He only carved it into his body, and after a period of time, it would dissipate and he would need to carve it again. It's time to make my move. I really didn't expect that this guy, Barbarian Sovereign, would actually be a bit afraid of me. When he sees my face that is even more handsome than his, he will definitely feel even more inferior. Qin Yun thought to himself. He raised his hand and instantly condensed a sky-piercing finger force and shot towards Supreme Palace Master. It was this guy who just said that Qin Yun was a chickenhead. Everyone sensed the sudden appearance of this formidable power, but they were unable to react in time. Because it was too fast, It was as if a beam of light had suddenly shot over. By the time everyone reacted, the divine universe within Supreme Palace Master's body had already been penetrated. What was even more terrifying was that after this attack pierced through Supreme Palace Master, it actually continued to shoot towards the back, piercing through the bodies of several small leaders of the Taisher faction. Qin Yun's body also appeared. Everyone could see that his 2 fingers were currently flowing with a weak remnant of energy. Just now, he had used these 2 fingers to instantly pierce through many people's bodies. As expected, Qin Yun had come. Furthermore, he had appeared so suddenly, catching the big shots of the new founder's camp off guard. The 9 Heavens Island Lord was extremely excited. He secretly cursed himself for being too noob. He actually thought that Qin Yun had run away. At this moment, he admired Qin Yun even more. After concealing himself, he was actually not discovered by Barbarian Sovereign. The most terrifying thing was that Qin Yun was only 10 meters away from Barbarian Sovereign. To an expert like Barbarian Sovereign, this distance was as if he was standing in front of him. However, he did not discover any enemies. When Barbarian Sovereign saw Qin Yun, he also felt that Qin Yun's current condition was extremely good. After seeing Qin Yun, Barbarian Sovereign's heart was not flustered. He was even a little excited. His eyes were filled with burning battle intent. Barbarian Sovereign found out from the 9 Heavens Law Spirit that his strength was inferior to Qin Yun's, so he was very unconvinced. If he wanted to prove that he was stronger than Qin Yun, he had to defeat Qin Yun. This opportunity was right in front of him. Chapter 33-32. Qin Yun's sudden appearance caused the bigwigs to flee in all directions like birds and beasts. With their present strength, there was no way they could resist Qin Yun. They were not much stronger than the Supreme Palace Master, but the Supreme Palace Master was crippled by Qin Yun. Supreme Palace Master's internal divine universe had already been destroyed by Qin Yun. His body could only barely float in the air. There was no way for him to escape quickly. Qin Yun casually pointed with his finger again and unleashed the power of the exploding heaven finger, shattering the body of the Supreme Palace Master. He didn't even look over and killed the Supreme Palace Master. The Barbarian Emperor did not stop Qin Yun. In his eyes, it did not matter how many of these people died. Your injuries are not light. Qin Yun sized up the Barbarian Sovereign and said, "You're also heavily injured. You were severely injured by the 9 Heavens Law Spirit before. Even if you look to be in good condition now, your internal injuries definitely haven't fully recovered." Barbarian Emperor said, "We're even now." Barbarian Sovereign was injured by the 9 Suns Law Spirit and Qin Yun was injured by the 9 Heavens Law Spirit. Qin Yun only smiled. He felt even more confident. The reason for that was because not only had his injuries completely healed, his cultivation base had also increased by quite a bit. He had cultivated the heavenly imperial heart before, allowing him to unleash the power within his arms. But Barbarian Emperor could not see this point. Instead, he thought that Qin Yun was injured. In addition, he had not fully recovered from the serious injuries caused by the 9 Yang Law Spirit. If they fought, he would definitely be at a disadvantage. Currently, there are only slightly more than 100 people with our strength in this universe. In the Gods Desolate, there are only a few of them. We should have been on the same side. The Barbarian Emperor said. Qin Yun was secretly astonished. In this universe, there were actually more than 100 people who possessed strength that surpassed the divine space realm. Were they created by the universe's law spirit? It wasn't easy to form the divine desolate heavens. You guys should join our camp and protect the divine desolate heavens together. Qin Yun's position was to prioritize the divine wilderness in the heavens. As for the Barbarian Sovereign and the Dharma spirits of the 9 heavens, they listened to the Dharma spirits of the universe. No one knew what the universe's Dharma spirit's ultimate goal was. But what was certain was that the universe's law spirit had been destroying the order of the gods desolate. Barbarian Emperor took out a long saber. When Qin Yun saw the saber, he recalled the powerful divine weapon used by the nine heavens law spirit. They were all refined with the divine sun blood seed and were extremely sturdy. He didn't have a divine weapon of the same level yet, so he could only face the barbarian emperor with his bare hands. In the gods desolate, other than the nine heavens law spirits and the nine suns law spirits, you and I are the strongest. Let's take this opportunity to decide who's better. If you lose, hand over the heaven poison divine sun's core. If I lose, I will retreat from this place. Barbarian Emperor said. I've defeated you. Even if you don't want to scram, you still have to scram. Are you going to stay here and not leave? Besides, if you lose, whether or not you can survive is another matter. What right do you have to bet with me? Qin Yun said with a smile. Barbarian Emperor, if you lose, you have to give me something or you can forget about leaving alive. When the people who fled into the distance heard this, they were all astonished. Qin Yun actually looked down on the Barbarian Emperor. They all felt very uncomfortable in their hearts because previously, it was the nine heavens law spirits who said that Qin Yun was finished. They all thought that it was true, but now, not only is Qin Yun not finished, he is still alive and kicking, crazily provoking the Barbarian Emperor. I'm very poor, I don't have anything to give you, Barbarian Emperor said. If I lose, it won't be a problem for me to survive. I can even destroy this 18-layer space, do you believe me? How about this, if we lose, we'll kill each other. Let's bet our lives, do you dare to bet? Qin Yun said it very casually. No. Barbarian Emperor is a little afraid, he doesn't dare to bet. Your saber is not bad. If you lose, give me your saber, then bring these guys out of this space, and give me all the territories of the great Luo Empire and the Huoling Empire. After that, let's stop fighting for a period of time, how about it? As Qin Yun spoke, he kept staring at the saber in Barbarian Emperor's hand. If you lose, give me the heaven poison divine sun's core. After that, leave the nine heavens island and don't interfere in the matters here. How about it? Barbarian Emperor tightly gripped the saber in his hand. This was indeed the most valuable thing on him. All right, then we won't establish a soul contract. When the time comes, whoever doesn't abide by it will die. Qin Yun said. The people of the Huoling Empire are all very unhappy in their hearts because they didn't agree to this at all. However, they didn't dare to say anything. If Barbarian Emperor really lost, they could only accept it. Luo Yingtian's avatar doesn't matter. After all, he is Qin Yun's chess piece. He just needs to take care of himself. You don't have a weapon, I'll let you make the first move, Barbarian Emperor said. He really doesn't want to take advantage of Qin Yun. He knows very well that the reason why Qin Yun didn't take out a weapon is because he doesn't have a suitable one. Qin Yun wants Barbarian Emperor's saber. It means that he really needs this kind of weapon. Barbarian Emperor knows that the nine heaven law spirit defeated Qin Yun, but he doesn't know the process of the battle. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let Qin Yun make the first move. After Qin Yun was defeated by the nine heaven law spirit, he escaped into the dark space to cultivate for a period of time. After cultivating the imperial heaven heart, he dug out the power of his powerful body, especially the power of his right arm. Previously in the battle with the nine heaven law spirit, Qin Yun's body was heavily hit by the weapon many times, but his body was still not cut by the weapon. This means that his body can resist this kind of weapon. This guy's strength is not as good as the nine heaven law spirit. His saber is comparable to the weapon of the nine heaven law spirit, so if he uses this saber to slash at my body, he definitely won't be able to injure me. Qin Yun plans to go over and test how much his arm has improved. No one could predict the outcome of this battle. Everyone present belonged to the new human camp, so they naturally hoped that Barbarian King would win. However, they could see that Barbarian King was not confident. Qin Yun flew over. His speed is very slow and he doesn't have any tools in his hand. Everyone is shocked. Barbarian Emperor wants Qin Yun to attack first, so he should attack from afar. After all, he doesn't have a weapon. But Qin Yun chose the most reckless method. He directly used his bare hands to fight in close combat. Even Barbarian Emperor is very surprised. Qin Yun actually came over to fight in close combat and even threw a punch. Are you stupid? Barbarian Emperor's handsome face is also filled with bewilderment. Then, he slashed his saber at Qin Yun's arm. From his point of view, Qin Yun is giving his arm to him to chop. The power of Barbarian Emperor's saber is very strong. When it was slashed out, it released an extremely strong energy wave that caused air waves to howl in all directions. However, such a powerful saber was blasted away by Qin Yun's fist. Qin Yun used his fist to deliberately charge at the sharp blade. Not only was it not chopped into pieces, it even blasted the saber away, creating a violent shockwave. Barbarian Emperor and Qin Yun were both sent flying. Qin Yun is fine but Barbarian Emperor is quite frightened. Chapter 33-33. Qin Yun once again felt the power of an expert of this level. The last time he fought with the Nine Heavens Law Spirit, the power he faced was even stronger but there were similarities. This meant that the technique Barbarian Emperor cultivated should be the same as the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. Barbarian Emperor's strength was much weaker than the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. Firstly, he was weaker than the Nine Heavens Law Spirit and secondly, his injuries had not healed. This guy is still very strong. If he was at his peak state, it would be very difficult for me to defeat him. At most, I would be able to fight to a draw. Qin Yun estimated Barbarian Emperor's peak strength. He was secretly glad that he had cultivated before and dug out the power of his entire arm. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for him to face the injured Barbarian Emperor. Barbarian Emperor's expression was solemn as he looked at Qin Yun from afar. He only wanted to curse because Qin Yun's body was unbelievably powerful. Just now, Qin Yun had used his fist to directly collide with his sharp saber and his fist was completely unharmed. In addition, he could not determine if Qin Yun was injured or not, but he felt that there was a high chance that Qin Yun was injured. Back then, the Nine Heavens Law Spirit said that Qin Yun was finished, which meant that Qin Yun was heavily injured. Even if Qin Yun did not die, he would still be injured. Qin Yun was so strong even though he was injured. This made Barbarian Emperor feel horrified. He finally understood why the Nine Heavens Law Spirit said that Qin Yun was very strong. Barbarian Emperor was also dissatisfied with the Nine Heavens Law Spirit because it had never said that Qin Yun's body was so terrifying. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit knew that Qin Yun was not dead but he was definitely crippled and would never be able to recover from this setback. Therefore, he felt that there was no need to tell Barbarian Emperor so much about his battle with Qin Yun. In fact, when Qin Yun and the Nine Heavens Law Spirit were fighting, Barbarian Emperor was watching from afar. However, because the aura at the center of the battle was too chaotic and Barbarian Emperor did not dare to approach, he could not see clearly. Qin Yun had already roughly probed Barbarian Emperor's strength, and he was even more confident. As long as he defeated Barbarian Emperor and obtained that saber, he could use it to block the next time he faced the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. After Barbarian Emperor found out that Qin Yun is very strong, he became even more serious about this battle. Otherwise, he would lose. Furthermore, he would lose in front of so many people. This would be even more unsightly. One had to know that ever since Qin Yun escaped from the dark space, the Nine Heavens Dharma spirits did not interfere in the matters of the Nine Sun Sacred Land. Therefore, the Barbarian King was the strongest in the Nine Sun Sacred Land. This made him feel somewhat smug. Not much time had passed, and if he were to be defeated by Qin Yun, the barbarian sovereign would definitely lose face. Luo Yingtian was the avatar of the barbarian sovereign. He was very shameless and dared to kneel in front of Qin Yun. However, the barbarian sovereign was not such a person. He cared a lot about his face. The barbarian emperor's body suddenly trembled, and then a wave of air burst out. His body rapidly swelled up, and his body suddenly became bigger. Just a moment ago, he was still a slender and handsome man, but now he had become a burly and muscular man. This change was very big. This is the state of a barbarian after entering a berserk state. Their strength will suddenly increase by a lot. However, the barbarian emperor is different from ordinary barbarians. His body will not become a few meters tall giant, but he will become a lot more sturdy. The barbarian emperor raised his saber and rushed over. He knew that it was impossible to use energy attacks to deal with Qin Yun from afar. Qin Yun's powerful body would definitely be able to withstand powerful long-range energy attack. Only by using a powerful weapon to attack Qin Yun at close range and destroy his body would he be able to defeat him. In fact, if the energy was strong enough, it was still possible to defeat Qin Yun. The 9 heavens Dharma spirits were the same before, but they were unable to destroy Qin Yun's body from afar. In the end, Qin Yun still escaped. Qin Yun, you are much younger than me. I have dominated many barbarian race universes for more than 10 universe epoch. When I was at my peak, you had not been created yet. How could you be my match? The barbarian emperor held his saber with both hands and roared. He rushed towards Qin Yun at his fastest speed. After he entered a berserk state, both his speed and strength increased by 2 to 3 times. He believed that with this kind of strength, he would definitely be able to slash Qin Yun in one slash. Qin Yun sighed in his heart. This barbarian emperor had actually lived for more than 10 universe epoch. That was more than 1 billion years. Just thinking about it, he had no idea how he managed to endure it. However, it was precisely because of this that the barbarian emperor could not afford to lose. They were both people created by the universe law spirits using the divine sun blood seed. He, the barbarian emperor, had clearly cultivated many years earlier than Qin Yun. How could he lose to Qin Yun? He also knew that Qin Yun had used the divine sun blood seed to break through by himself. As for him and the 9 heavens Dharma spirits, they were guided by the universe law spirits. From the 9 heavens Dharma spirits and the barbarian emperor's point of view, their cultivation method should be more brilliant than Qin Yun's. If Qin Yun's cultivation method was stronger than theirs, then they would find it hard to accept this fact. Because this meant that they were all failed experimental subjects. Qin Yun saw the saber slash down, but he had no intention of dodging. He could dodge it. Although the barbarian emperor's speed was very fast, he was still a bit slower than the 9 heavens Dharma spirit. Just a bit slower was enough for him to dodge. He condensed a heavenly rune word on each of his palms, defense and vibration respectively. His right arm stimulated even more power, so he condensed the defense heavenly rune word to ensure that his defense was strong enough. His left palm formed the vibration heavenly rune word. He first slapped the saber with his left palm, releasing a very strong vibration power to disperse the power condensed in the saber. Then, he quickly grabbed the saber with his right palm. This seemed to be done at the same time, so it looked like he used both palms to catch the saber. Only the barbarian emperor knew that the timing of Qin Yun's palms colliding with the saber was just right, dispelling the powerful power within the saber. Then, his other palm released a very strange power to block the explosion of the scattered power within the saber. After the barbarian emperor entered berserk mode, his power increased by a lot. Such a fierce saber slash was actually easily caught by Qin Yun. This move of catching a white blade with bare hands completely shattered the mentality of the barbarian emperor. And among the big shots of the new beginning human camp, who were watching the battle from afar, some of them have already fled. Qin Yun's strength was so strong that it made them feel fear. Killing them was like cutting grass. Barbarian Emperor wanted to pull out the saber but found it difficult to do so. He could only vigorously kick Qin Yun's abdomen. What made Barbarian Emperor uncomfortable is that when his foot landed on Qin Yun's abdomen, it was repelled by a power. He was unable to injure Qin Yun at all. "This saber is mine, you don't have any objections, right?" Qin Yun said. "Don't even think about taking it away, you can't kill me." Barbarian Emperor roared. "If I really go all out, although I can't kill you, I can cripple you for a very long time." Qin Yun said, "Do you want to force me to go all out? I will definitely defeat you next time." Barbarian Emperor released the saber, turned around and flew away. Barbarian Emperor is not injured. If Qin Yun wants to seriously injure Barbarian Emperor, he will indeed have to go all out. And Barbarian Emperor doesn't know this, otherwise he would have continued fighting. Because he attacked Qin Yun with all his strength, Qin Yun's powerful defense caused his heart to collapse and he completely lost his fighting spirit. Chapter 33-34. Barbarian Emperor walked very fast. Everyone else followed behind him as if they were fleeing for their lives. They did not have any disloyalty towards Barbarian Emperor because of this. It is precisely because they are following Barbarian Emperor that Qin Yun cannot attack them. Everyone can see that although Barbarian Emperor cannot defeat Qin Yun, if they fight with their lives on the line, the result is hard to say. Qin Yun watched Barbarian Emperor walk away, and then let out a sigh of relief. He was still a little nervous just now. It seemed like he had won the battle, but it was not a complete victory. Barbarian Emperor still had the strength to fight again, but because there was no need, Barbarian Emperor did not continue fighting. "Divine King, if you really fight with Barbarian Emperor, what will the result be?" Nine Heaven Island Master is very curious about this. Barbarian Emperor will definitely lose, but he might not die. As for me, I will definitely be seriously injured. If Qin Yun wants to defeat Barbarian Emperor, he will definitely have to fight for a long time. In the end, he will definitely be riddled with scars. They are flying towards the exit and will leave very soon. Only when they all leave this 18-layer space will I be able to completely relax. Nine Heaven Island Master can know if they have left or not at any time. Qin Yun nodded and said, "Let's wait for them here, I will rest first." He released the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda and let it float in the air. Then he entered the pagoda. He wants to quickly get a divine sun-blood seed for 9 Heaven Island Master. A divine sun-blood seed only consumes 5 trillion divine universe golden stones. However, the value of heavenly poison divine sun core is inestimable. Even if 10 times more divine universe golden stones were used, it would still be impossible to create. Qin Yun and 9 Heaven Island Master did not sign a soul contract, but he will definitely fulfill his promise, because there is still a mysterious ancient beast inside 9 Heaven Island. He wants to go and see the situation of that ancient beast. Right now, he knows very little about ancient beasts. After he gives the divine sun-blood seed to 9 Heaven Island Master, he can ask him in passing. 9 Heavens Island Lord flew around the 9 Suns sky raising pagoda, carefully inspecting it. Half a day later, Qin Yun came out of the pagoda. "Did they all leave?" Qin Yun asked. "They all left." 9 Heaven Island Master nodded. He was worried that Qin Yun would trick him. Seeing Qin Yun drive away Barbarian Emperor and others, 9 Heaven Island Master felt relieved and no longer suspected Qin Yun. Qin Yun took out a box and handed it over to 9 Heaven Island Master. He said, "This is a divine sun blood seed, it is rather small." 9 Heavens Island Lord's hands were trembling. He was very excited at the moment. He hurriedly opened the box and saw a divine sun blood seed that was emitting a purple glow. He was very sure that this was the divine sun blood seed, because he had once helped the Universe Law Spirit collect the Divine Sun Blood Seed, but at that time, he did not know the importance of these things. This is the Divine Universe Purple Sun Blood Seed? Where did you get this from? This is very precious. Normally, for such a large Divine Universe bloodline, the Divine Universe Purple Sun is definitely not small. The Lord of Nine Heavens Island became even more excited. I got it by chance. Qin Yun said, Nine Heavens Island Lord, do you know a lot about the Divine Yang bloodline? Back then, I helped the Cosmos Spirit collect them, but most of them were from Xie Yang and Mo Yang. Nine Heavens Island Lord said, I've never seen a bloodline with a super divine sun like the Divine Universe Purple Sunday. How much do you know about the Divine Sun Blood Seed? How do you plan to use the blood seed to cultivate? Qin Yun asked. Actually, it's not that I need the Divine Sun Blood Seed. It's that big guy. Nine Heavens Island Lord looked at the center of the Nine Heavens Island and sighed. That big guy needs to eat a large amount of Divine Sun Blood Seed to cultivate, then I'll use its blood to cultivate a special body. Is it a beast? Qin Yun stored the Nine Sun Heaven-Raising Pagoda and prepared to go take a look. Yes, it's coming out soon. I can't be sure if this ancient beast's temperament will change greatly after breaking the seal. Nine Heavens Island Lord said, Divine King, I'll take you to take a look. This ancient beast is very dangerous. If we can't subdue it, we can't let it fall into the hands of Barbarian Emperor and the others, otherwise it will be very dangerous. Qin Yun followed Nine Heavens Island Lord and flew towards the place where the ancient beast was sealed. On the way, he earnestly listened to Nine Heavens Island Lord talk about the ancient beast. Qin Yun originally thought that the ancient beast was created by the Universe Law Spirit. He never expected that it was not. Back when Nine Heavens Island Lord helped the Universe Law Spirit find the Divine Sun Blood Seed, he inadvertently found an energy body. Then the energy body turned into an egg, and the ancient beast hatched from this egg. The energy body is the evolution of the super-large nether sun after self-cultivation. It becomes very small and very hard to find. Old Brother Taisher guided Qin Yun to find one and then refined it into his imperial heaven heart. Energy bodies are the most dangerous things in the universe. They are usually destroyed or sealed into bloodline heavenly rune boxes. The number of energy bodies is very small. There are only a few of them in the entire universe, and they are either destroyed or sealed. After the ancient beast hatches, it is just a lump of meat. It has no shape, but it can erupt with very formidable power. Nine Heavens Island Lord was very afraid and went to inform the Universe Law Spirit. Then the ancient beast was sealed for several universe epochs. After that, the universe's Dharma spirit didn't ask about the ancient beasts anymore. It was only during this period of time that the sealed ancient beasts made a huge commotion and could communicate with Nine Heavens Island Lord. The ancient beast has now become very strong. The Universe Law Spirit seal is from many years ago. It has been loosened by the ancient beast struggle. That is why the Universe Law Spirit thought of the ancient beast. Then the Universe Law Spirit handed this matter over to the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. Nine Heavens Law Spirit didn't have time, so he handed this matter over to Barbarian Emperor and let Barbarian Emperor take down Nine Heavens Island. That way the ancient beast will be theirs. I wonder if the Nine Heavens Law Spirit will come or not. Nine Heavens Island Lord suddenly became worried. Back then it was the Nine Heavens Law Spirit who defeated Qin Yun. If he knew that Qin Yun is fine, he would definitely want to come again. As long as the Nine Heavens Law Spirit doesn't die, the Nine Heavens Law Spirit won't come. Qin Yun speculated that the Nine Heavens Law Spirit and the Nine Heavens Law Spirit are fighting. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit believes that since he killed Qin Yun, if he also killed the Nine Heavens Law Spirit, there would be no threat in the Divine Desolate. Basically, he would be in charge of it. Therefore, he would definitely seize the opportunity to kill the Nine Heavens Law Spirit, making it impossible for Qin Yun and the Nine Heavens Law Spirit to rise again. I am mainly worried about the universe law spirit. If the nine heavens law spirit and the nine heavens law spirit are fighting each other, then what about the universe law spirit? Nine Heavens Island Lord said. The universe law spirit is currently transforming into a human. He can't find the time right now. With his kind of cultivation, it will definitely take a very long time to transform into a human. Qin Yun said. If he could appear, he would have appeared long ago. This made Nine Heavens Island Lord even more worried. If the universe law spirit transformed into a human, then the opposing camp would be even more powerful. They would be invincible in the divine desolate. Don't worry. Qin Yun is actually very indifferent and said, as long as the universe law spirit transforms into a human, then compared to the vast divine desolate, he will become very insignificant. There is nothing to be afraid of. Chapter 33-35. Qin Yun now has some understanding of these law spirit. If the universe law spirit transformed into a human, he would no longer be able to fuse with the universe law and use it. Just like the nine suns law spirit, after he transformed into a human, he would no longer be able to control the myriad realms divine Sunday. At most, he would be able to borrow a lot of power from the myriad realms divine Sunday. Transforming into a human is equivalent to them becoming like humans. They would no longer be the controller of the laws. Then they would be insignificant in front of nature. Therefore, Qin Yun is eager for the universe law spirit to transform into a human. As long as he transforms into a human, it would be easy to deal with him in the future. A universe law spirit that has not transformed into a human does not have a body. Moreover, its soul is attached to the universe law. It is illusory and illusory. There is no way to take revenge on it. I hope so. Nine Heaven Island Master does not think so. In his opinion, after the universe law spirit transforms into a human, it would become even more terrifying. Qin Yun can see the fear Nine Heaven Island Master has towards the universe law spirit. After all, the universe law spirit is the supreme controller of the universe's order. For many years, Nine Heaven Island Master has always listened to the universe law spirit's orders. Nine Heaven Island Master even believes that the reason why he can appear is because the universe law spirit created him. Therefore, he is filled with fear towards the universe law spirit. However, even if he is afraid of the universe law spirit, he still dares to choose his own path and no longer listen to the universe law spirit. This means that he will face a calamity at any moment. Don't worry, Divine Desolate is a trap created by the Nine Suns law spirit, a cage. It is used to capture the universe law spirit. As long as he transforms into a human and enters Divine Desolate, even if no one is his match, he will not be able to destroy Divine Desolate. Qin Yun said with smile. Of course, this is all nonsense. However, he is certain that the Nine Suns law spirit has always wanted the universe law spirit to transform into a human. Maybe Divine Desolate was created to lure the universe law spirit to transform into a human. Qin Yun followed behind Nine Heaven Island Master and quickly arrived at the center of the island. There are more than 1,000 huge mountains here. Each of them looks like a mighty giant beast. Were these huge mountains originally like this? Qin Yun floated in the air and said in astonishment, "This formation was set up by the universe law spirit? It was arranged by the universe's magical spirit, but it wasn't like this at first. Only after many years did the enormous mountain gradually take shape." Nine Heavens Island Lord said, "Divine Monarch, what kind of beasts do these mountains look like?" That ancient beast had been sealed here for a few universe eras, but Nine Heavens Island Lord had never seen what it looked like afterwards. When the ancient beast hatched from the egg, it was just a lump of meat without any shape. It looks like a qilin, but it also has the characteristics of a dragon. Qin Yun said, "It might be a fusion of the two. The reason why these mountains have become like this is because of that ancient beast's influence over the years. The Nine Heavens Island Lord said, "But I've never sensed any power. Why would the mountain change shape?" Every mountain was tens of thousands of meters tall and had reached this height after several epochs. However, Nine Heavens Island Lord didn't sense it. This meant that the power used by the ancient beasts was very special. It might even be something that transcended this universe. Qin Yun's lawless power was also very difficult to sense. He used lawless power as his main power to carve the invisibility, heavenly rune into his body. Because of that, he had a very strong concealment ability, making it impossible for the barbarian emperor to discover him. After Nine Heavens Island Lord and Qin Yun arrived, Divine Judge, Nine Dragon King, Dragon Turtle King, Long Shu, Phoenix Queen and others arrived one after another. Qin Yun nodded at them, indicating that he is fine and telling them not to worry. The Divine King defeated the barbarian emperor and drove them away. Nine Heavens Island Lord is very happy to talk about this matter. Hearing this, everyone is very astonished. They knew that Qin Yun is very strong, but they didn't expect him to be completely fine after defeating the barbarian emperor. They also experienced barbarian emperor's strength before. Luckily, he didn't dare to attack them in this place, so they were not attacked by him. "You should leave as soon as possible," Qin Yun suddenly said. "That guy is coming out." "Divine King, should I leave?" Nine Heavens Island Lord asked. "You don't need to leave, you stay here. Everyone else leave as soon as possible, this Nine Heavens Island might be destroyed," Qin Yun said. Nine Heavens Island Lord cried out in alarm. "Yes, arrange for Nine Heavens Island's people to leave as soon as possible," Qin Yun urged. Nine Heavens Island Lord immediately used the magic mirror to contact the people on the island, telling them to leave this 18-layer space as soon as possible. Qin Yun nodded at Long Shu, telling her to leave with everyone and not to worry about him. Long Shu is still very worried about Qin Yun, especially after hearing that Qin Yun was killed by the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. She felt sad for quite a while. Now that she saw Qin Yun, she has to leave without even being alone with him. Moreover, Qin Yun might fall into danger again. Everyone immediately left. They came here to defend against the barbarian emperor. Although their strength is far inferior to the barbarian emperor, they can still block those heavenly emperors and Taisher powers. The barbarian emperor can't make a move because his formidable power will alarm the ancient beast. However, those heavenly emperors can. That's why those people fought with the divine martial emperor and the others. It was because the barbarian emperor sensed the aura of the heavenly poison divine sun core that they stopped fighting. Very soon, only Qin Yun and Nine Heavens Island Lord remained. "Divine King, how did you know that the ancient beast would come out?" Nine Heavens Island Lord asked. Nine Heavens Island Lord's spirit body is still on this island. If this island is destroyed, his soul can only drift and will dissipate very quickly. Therefore, he is very worried that this huge island will be destroyed. But seeing that Qin Yun is here, he felt a lot more at ease. "I can feel that there is a power condensing and it will explode very soon," Qin Yun said. No wonder the barbarian emperor didn't dare to act recklessly before. He must have sensed that this power is about to explode. If he fights here, he will definitely cause that power to explode. Nine Heavens Island Lord is extremely alarmed. He promptly asked, "Divine King, if that guy comes out, will he destroy my island?" "I can't be sure. It was already very difficult for him to break through this seal. Maybe he doesn't have extra power to destroy everywhere," Qin Yun said, "but when he breaks through the seal, this area will definitely be destroyed. If it's only this area that will be destroyed, then it's fine." Nine Heavens Island Lord felt a lot more at ease. "Didn't you say that you could communicate with him before? Tell him that you have already found the divine sun blood seed," Qin Yun said. If possible, when he comes out, I will extract his blood and try to help you cultivate a body. That way, you can quickly get rid of this Nine Heavens Island. Nine Heavens Island Lord repeatedly nodded and said, I will immediately try to contact him. The divine sun blood seed he just obtained is very good. It must be something that the ancient beast likes very much. In order to contact the ancient beast as soon as possible, he even exposed the divine sun blood seed. The earth suddenly trembled, accompanied by a low and weak roar. The divine sun blood seed produced a pretty good effect. Chapter 33-36. Nine Heaven Island Master jumped in fright and cried out in alarm. God King, what happened? Is this island going to explode? Quickly communicate with the ancient beast and see what it plans to do. Qin Yun hurriedly urged. Even Qin Yun felt that the situation is not right. The ancient beast must have been alarmed by the divine sun blood seed, but after being alarmed, it seems to have become irritable due to some other reason. Nine Heaven Island Master continued to communicate with the ancient beast. After a series of attempts, he became even more afraid. Not good, this ancient beast is very irritable. It has a very strong battle intent. I can't communicate with it at all. It only has one strong thought, it wants to come out and fight. Nine Heaven Island Master's face is filled with fear. He looked and said, God King, you should leave quickly. This ancient beast seems to be coming for you. Maybe it's because he sensed my presence and wants to fight with me. Qin Yun felt that this is quite normal. Wasn't Barbarian Emperor the same before? This Nine Heaven Island Master naturally knows Qin Yun's strength, but he still feels that the ancient beast is stronger. Dodge it. Qin Yun took a deep breath and took out Barbarian Emperor's saber. He quickly flew towards a huge mountain and cleaved it in half. He cleaved dozens of beast-shaped mountains in order to destroy the great formation sealing the ancient beast and let it come out ahead of time. This great formation has long been changed by the ancient beast bit by bit. Even if it is not destroyed, the ancient beast will come out sooner or later. Furthermore, Qin Yun needs to quickly settle the matter here. If the ancient beast cannot be subdued, then he will exterminate it. If he can successfully subdue it, then he will undoubtedly have a powerful helper. Roar. A loud sound rang out, and the ground below cracked open. The remaining hundreds of mountains collapsed one after another. The ancient beast came out. The hidden Nine Heaven Island Master's heart is filled with extreme fear. For so many years, his Nine Heaven Island has actually sealed such a powerful guy and he actually did not know about it. Qin Yun did not see the ancient beast but he can sense that it is very powerful. However, its body is not big and it is not weaker than Barbarian Emperor. He guessed that the ancient beast's strength is comparable to Barbarian Emperor in peak condition. A flame suddenly rushed over. Qin Yun knew that a powerful force was attacking him but he was still hit by it. Facing this sudden attack, he was unable to react in time. The Barbarian Emperor's speed was also very fast, but he could still react in time. This guy is fast. Qin Yun could not even see the appearance of the ancient beast and was sent flying. If it were anyone else, they would have been turned into ashes by such a ferocious collision. As for Qin Yun, he was only sent flying. Not only was it fast, the flames were also very powerful. Qin Yun could feel the scorching power penetrating his bones, causing his entire body to feel unbearably hot. My speed is inferior to this fellow, and my strength is inferior as well, but my physical body is strong. Qin Yun immediately determined the strengths and weaknesses of himself and the ancient beasts. The ancient beasts were not as strong as the Nine Heavens Dharma spirit. Their speed was also inferior to them. Not long after Qin Yun was sent flying, he felt another scorching heat. Following that, he was struck by a fiery light that came from an unknown direction and was sent flying once again. Next, he was like a ball being hit by the ancient beast from one side to the other, from the other side to the other side. He was hit back and forth hundreds of times. Nine Heaven Island Lord is dumbstruck. He finally understood why the Nine Heavens Dharma spirits could not kill Qin Yun. The strength of his body is truly terrifying. Of course Qin Yun is in pain, but he is not injured. Even he himself is very surprised. It is reasonable to say that the ancient beast's body should be very strong. He was hit back and forth by the ancient beast so many times, yet he is not seriously injured. In fact, the one who is most shocked by the strength of Qin Yun's body is the Nine Heavens Dharma spirits who ambushed Qin Yun. At that time, he used a weapon to attack Qin Yun, but it did not cause any harm to him. If he knew that Qin Yun was fine after that and even recovered very quickly and defeated Barbarian Emperor, he would definitely be even more shocked. The ancient beast could only use its speed advantage to hit Qin Yun like a ball, but in the end it was still unable to defeat Qin Yun. Moreover, if this goes on, the ancient beast will consume a lot of energy and Qin Yun will not consume any energy, it will just be more painful. Although Barbarian Emperor left the 18-layer space, he is still watching from outside. What should we do next? Are we really going to divide the territories of Daluo Empire and Hualing Empire to Qin Yun? Bloodthirsty Barbarian King asked. I will let Heavenly Emperor Hualing and Daluo Heavenly Emperor temporarily follow Qin Yun and let them hide by Qin Yun's side. Barbarian Emperor looked at the 18-layer space and said with a grave expression, if Qin Yun can subdue that ancient beast, it will be very disadvantageous for us. We have to find other helpers as soon as possible, or let you quickly improve. Originally, Barbarian Emperor and Nine Heavens Dharma spirits were two experts who surpassed the divine space realm. Qin Yun and Nine Heavens Dharma spirits were slightly weaker than them, but overall it was still considered balanced. If Qin Yun subdued that beast, this balance would be broken and it would be very disadvantageous for their new human camp. To maintain the balance, they must increase the number of experts who surpassed the divine space realm on their side, otherwise they would soon be destroyed. Barbarian Emperor called Luo Yingtian and Heavenly Emperor Hualing over and said a lot to them, mainly to let them temporarily agree to Qin Yun and obey Qin Yun on the surface. Heavenly Emperor Hualing was very dissatisfied with this, but he didn't say anything. Luo Yingtian also pretended to be very dissatisfied, but his heart was very calm. He was just a little impatient. Just as Barbarian Emperor was about to leave, the entrance to the 18-layer space suddenly trembled and a fiery light rushed out from the spatial black hole. Barbarian Emperor and the group of big shots didn't leave. They were all at the entrance to the 18-layer space. The fiery light that shot out like lightning vibrated with an incomparably scorching and powerful aura. Even Barbarian Emperor felt terrified. What shocked them the most was that Qin Yun was actually pushed out by this fiery light. Qin Yun was fighting with that ancient beast. Qin Yun couldn't dodge at all, so even if he was pushed out of the 18-layer space by the ancient beast, he couldn't do anything about it. He could only endure until the ancient beast's condition dropped. As long as the ancient beast's speed was a little slower, he would be able to dodge and counterattack. The ancient beast and Qin Yun's battlefield moved from the Nine Heavens Island to the outside. Just as he appeared, Qin Yun was hit dozens of times. Every time Qin Yun collided, he would be hit until a burst of fiery light and flashing explosions would erupt. It was very shocking. Every collision made people's hearts jump, because they kept feeling that Qin Yun would be smashed into pieces in an instant. But after every collision, his body was intact. How in the world did this monster cultivate such a powerful body? Barbarian Emperor was extremely envious. The Nine Heavens Law spirits were also very envious of Qin Yun's body back then. Should we take action to help the ancient beast? And then obtain the ancient beast's favorable impression? Heavenly Emperor Hualing suddenly said, I don't have Qin Yun's savage body. If I go over, it's courting death. Barbarian Emperor snorted. That ancient beast is so powerful and has its own thoughts. If we interfere in his battle, the ones he will hit next will be us. How many of these collisions can your body withstand at that time? Heavenly Emperor Huoling's body trembled. How many? Don't talk about how many, he couldn't even withstand one, not even half a time. Chapter 33-37. Barbarian Emperor doesn't plan to continue watching because he doesn't want to fight the ancient beast. From the fight between the ancient beast and Qin Yun, he can see the strength of the ancient beast. Barbarian Emperor doesn't have any weapon and he is also seriously injured. He is not the ancient beast's match. If you don't want to die, then quickly leave. If the ancient beast kills Qin Yun, then it will turn around and look for other targets. Barbarian Emperor finished speaking and left in a hurry. Other people saw Barbarian Emperor leave and ran away in panic. If they were hit by the ancient beast, they would be smashed to pieces and turned into ashes. Only a monster like Qin Yun would be fine, but they are not Qin Yun. At this moment, they are very clear about Qin Yun's strength. This divine king is not weak at all. Earlier he defeated Barbarian Emperor and now he is facing the ancient beast. His strength is truly valiant. Divine Judge and the others are very worried about Qin Yun. They are also outside the 18-layer space and saw the fight between Qin Yun and the ancient beast. Qin Yun saw that they have not left even after a long time and secretly transmitted his voice, telling them to quickly leave this place so that the ancient beast doesn't target them. With the ancient beast's current speed, if it attacks the Divine Judge and the others, it will be very difficult for Qin Yun to stop it. Under Qin Yun's strict warning, the Divine Judge and the others have no choice but to leave immediately. Qin Yun is now feeling dizzy from the collision. He didn't know that he would be knocked out of the 18-layer space. The ancient beast has been sealed for so many years. Being able to run out and immediately leave the 18-layer space, it can be seen that the ancient beast is quite smart. It knows that it is very stuffy inside the 18-layer space. Outside, there is the Myriad Realms Divine Sun. This made the ancient beast even more excited and excited. Its speed and power actually increased a bit. Qin Yun is puzzled. If this continues, his body might not be able to hold on. The ancient beast can't damage his body in a short period of time. If the ancient beast continues to be full of energy, he won't be able to withstand it even with his current strength. What the hell is this guy? Qin Yun still can't clearly see the ancient beast's appearance. Qin Yun, use all your strength to restrain this guy. It seems like it can obtain a lot of energy and replenish it in time. Old Brother Taisher said, a war of attrition won't work. Use all your strength to restrain it for a period of time so that you can use heavenly rune characters. Qin Yun is currently unable to circulate his power because he has only just mobilized a little bit. The scorching heat and impact of the ancient beast's collision would scatter the immortal power within his body, making it difficult for him to mobilize his strongest power. Was there really no other way? Of course not. Qin Yun still had one more move. He wanted the little ant queen to cooperate. Qin Yun planned to bring the ancient beast into the dark space. In the dark space, Qin Yun had the help of the little ant queen's power. He could teleport like a fish in water. Although the little queen ant was small and looked to be the same size as Momo, her abilities were extremely terrifying. Especially after entering the space, she was like the empress of the dark space. You've been sealed since birth. Now that you can finally come out, I'll bring you to a more fun place. Qin Yun contacted the little ant queen inside the Nine Sun Divine Soul and told her to prepare for spatial transfer. The little queen ant was already very familiar with this, but it didn't take long for her to start. Spatial transfer only took an instant. At the instant Qin Yun used spatial transfer, the mysterious ancient beast slammed into Qin Yun and entered the dark space with him. After entering the dark space, Qin Yun teleported back and forth. His body didn't need to move at all, so he didn't have any movement trajectory. It was all spatial teleportation, unless there was a powerful force that blocked the spatial passageway or distorted the dark space. However, in the dark space, just having a powerful force was not enough. One also needed to know the operation of the dark space's laws. The little ant queen is very familiar with this law because these spatial Xian ants grew up in this kind of environment. In the dark space, the mysterious ancient beast would also be affected by the strong spatial turbulence, causing its speed to be much slower. If it wanted to move quickly against the spatial turbulence, it would require even more power. This guy is still too tender. If it was anyone else, they would have already opened a passage to escape from the dark space. Qin Yun teleported back and forth, but he still couldn't see the ancient beast's appearance. He could only see a very large ball of fire. The ancient beast was inside the ball of fire and its body couldn't be seen. That ball of fire seemed to be the ancient beast's eggshell. Just as Qin Yun said, the ancient beast knew very little about this universe. Although it was a mysterious ancient beast born from energy, it didn't know anything about anything in its memories. Qin Yun and Brother Taisher have already joined hands and began to carve heavenly runes. Only heavenly runes could suppress this ancient beast. Although the barbarian emperor left, he arranged for people to observe the battlefield from afar using magic mirrors. The magic mirrors they were using now were all their own magic mirror formation base, and were only used by them internally. In the Divine Desolate, whether it was inside the Nine Sun Sacred Land or outside, most of the magic mirrors used were controlled by the Myriad Realms Divine Court. It was very difficult for other powers to interfere. Furthermore, their magic mirror formation was often disturbed and destroyed by others. Entered the dark space? So that's how it is, so that's how it is. Qin Yun fought with the Nine Heavens Law Spirit and finally escaped into the dark space. That's why we thought that his body had been destroyed. Although the barbarian emperor couldn't see it clearly from the magic mirror, he could deduce it. How did Qin Yun do it? It's very difficult to enter the dark space now. It's many times more difficult than before. Without enough strength, it's impossible to open the entrance, and once you fall into the dark space, it's very easy to be swept away by the spatial turbulence. The bloodthirsty barbarian king said in shock. I don't know. Qin Yun's mastery of space far exceeds our imagination. He was the one who created the demonic mirror. Previously, it was transferred from the great Luo Empire to his own hands without anyone noticing. Furthermore, he has many mysterious and difficult-to-block teleportation formations. The barbarian emperor said with a frown. Competing with Qin Yun, not only do we have to compete with strength, we also have to compete with other techniques. If we can't keep up, we will be left behind by him. The barbarian emperor felt even more stifled because compared to Qin Yun, he couldn't compare in any way. No wonder the Nine Heavens Island Master said that other than Qin Yun, the Divine King, he wouldn't recognize anyone else in the Divine Desolate. In the dark space, Qin Yun used many heavenly rune characters and finally sealed the fireball. This ancient beast is very strong. Although it is very violent, it is not bad. Previously, when it charged at Qin Yun, it was as if it was challenging an expert. On the contrary, Qin Yun felt that the ancient beast was somewhat mischievous, like a child who loved to cause trouble. Therefore, he wanted to subdue this ancient beast. That's not right, this outer shell should be its true seal. This seal was naturally formed, right? Old Brother Taisher said. No wonder it couldn't come out, it was sealed. If it was unsealed, wouldn't it be even stronger? Qin Yun said in astonishment. He wanted to chat with more like-minded people about $article_title? WeChat followed Udo Literature to chat about life and find a bosom friend. Chapter 33-38. Qin Yun opened his heavenly eye and tried to see through the outer shell. He wanted to see what kind of ancient beast it is, but he still could not see clearly. Can you see what it is? Can't you see through it? Old Brother Taisher asked. He also wants to know what kind of divine beast it is. Qin Yun saw that the huge mountain used to seal the ancient beast gradually turned into a mixture of qilin and dragon, so he became even more curious. I can see through it, but I can't see what kind of beast it is. It's really strange. Everyone says it's an ancient beast, why can't I see its shape? Qin Yun also felt that it is very strange. He could clearly see through the strange outer shell, but he could only see a ball of something inside. Ancient beast is also what the Universe Law Spirit said, right? At that time, only the Universe Law Spirit could clearly see what was going on. Old Brother Taisher said, "Maybe it's not an ancient beast?" "What? I've been tossing and turning for so long. If it's not an ancient beast but some other dangerous thing, wouldn't that be troublesome?" Qin Yun looked at the fireball in front of him and suddenly felt worried. For the ancient beast, he had paid a great price. Moreover, he was filled with expectations for this ancient beast. He hoped to rely on this ancient beast to increase their camp's strength. This is the dark space. Even if a dangerous thing is released, there should be no need to worry. Old Brother Taisher said, "The dark space has become a lot stronger now. It's still very difficult to break through the restraints of the dark space. It is also because Qin Yun has the little ant queen's help that he can easily enter and exit the dark space. Yang Sure you also used 2 space Xian ants to refine avatars, but she was unable to enter the dark space. Alright, let's see what kind of outer shell this is and how to break it. This thing can seal that ancient beast for so many years, it's definitely not simple." Qin Yun used the primal beginning divine mirror to get close to the outer shell. The fireball has already been sealed, and has become very stable. Furthermore, the energy aura has already been suppressed. Qin Yun can now completely approach it. After a series of tests, Old Brother Taisher said in astonishment, "This outer shell has the material of the divine Sunblood Seed's outer shell." Qin Yun is very clear about how powerful the material of the divine Sunblood Seed's outer shell is. At most, he can only pierce a hole and extract the divine Sunblood Seed's liquid. The 1-meter-tall fireball's outer shell in front of him is actually made of divine Sunblood Seed's material. How many divine Sunblood Seeds are needed to form this? It seems that the thing inside is really not simple. Qin Yun took a deep breath. He did not know if he should open it or not. Of course, the premise was that he could open it. The reason why the thing inside is so powerful is probably because of this special shell. But the things inside are definitely not simple. Old Brother Taisher said, "Now we have to think about how to open this outer shell." Following that, Qin Yun and Old Brother Taisher began discussing. Barbarian Sovereign was very concerned about Qin Yun's matter. In his own mansion, he was in a grand array. With great difficulty, he managed to contact the 9 Heavens Dharma Spirit. He immediately told the 9 Heavens Law Spirit about Qin Yun. When the 9 Heavens Law Spirit heard this, he seemed to be very shocked, so he didn't say anything for a long time. Barbarian Emperor waited for a long time before asking, 9 Heavens Law Spirit, after Qin Yun subdued the ancient beast, his strength will definitely increase greatly. The balance will be broken. Don't worry, that thing is very dangerous. Moreover, Qin Yun might not be able to tame it. It was better to leave such an unstable thing to Qin Yun and the others. We really need to increase our manpower to maintain the balance. 9 Heavens Law Spirit said. The Universe Law Spirit did a lot of experiments back then, a total of about 100 people. He will help us find more helpers, those are the most stable ones. After Barbarian Emperor heard this, he is secretly happy, but at the same time, he is also somewhat worried. Because he is afraid that he will not be a match for the new ally and then be trampled on by the new ally. Is there any news of the new ally? Barbarian Emperor asked. Yes, go and look for it. It's in the depths of the universe, but with your ability, you should be able to find it very quickly, Nine Heavens Law Spirit said. Oh right, did you and Nine Heavens Law Spirit decide the victor? Barbarian Emperor asked. We are evenly matched. Right now we are still fighting, no one can leave. Therefore, I will give you full authority to handle the matters in the Divine Desolate. Nine Heavens Law Spirit warned. Pay attention, you must not clash head-on with Qin Yun. With his current strength, you will definitely not be able to defeat him. Nine Heavens Law Spirit previously said that Barbarian Emperor is not Qin Yun's match, and now, he is even more certain. Barbarian Emperor suffered a blow once again, but he also admitted it. I know you don't feel good in your heart, actually I also don't feel good in my heart. Qin Yun will definitely surpass me in the future. The premise is that he is still alive. As long as he is given time and opportunity, his future is limitless. Nine Heavens Law Spirit sighed. Why can't we walk the same path? Why do we have to be enemies with him? Barbarian Emperor asked helplessly. Not only does he not want to be enemies with Qin Yun, he even wants to ask Qin Yun for guidance on cultivation. If you have the chance, you can ask the Universe Law Spirit. I don't know how to answer this question. Nine Heavens Law Spirit sighed and said, You should go find an ally now. Barbarian Emperor can only do it. He knows that everything he is doing now is arranged by the Universe Law Spirit. Nine Heavens Law Spirit is also acting according to the directions of the Universe Law Spirit. Now, Barbarian Emperor finally understands why Qin Yun wants to walk his own path. Even if his own path has no direction and is bumpy, at least he can walk it clearly. Qin Yun and old brother Taisher discussed for a long time, but did not come up with a good method. In the end, they could only decide to do the same thing as extracting the divine sun blood seed, condense the formidable nether sun power into a needle and pierce it first. Piercing through the outer layer of the divine sun blood seed is not a difficult task for Qin Yun. He is already very familiar with this process. However, what he is facing now is not the divine sun blood seed but the outer wall that is sealing a formidable ancient beast. After breaking through, it is unknown what kind of danger he will face. Qin Yun, it would be best if you can communicate with this guy in advance. This guy's nature is not bad. It's just that because he has been sealed for too long, he has become rather irritable. He has been sealed for so long, most of the time he has been sleeping and he has very little contact with the outside world. He should still be relatively naive and pure. Old brother Taisher said. Nine Heavens Island Master can communicate with ancient beasts, but it is somewhat difficult to do so. Qin Yun immediately began trying to communicate with ancient beasts. He released formidable mental power to make contact with the ancient beast's mind. Communication is indeed rather difficult. The main reason is that the ancient beast's thinking is rather strange. However, Qin Yun can still understand the ancient beast's meaning. What surprised Qin Yun is that this ancient beast is indeed a beast. He said that he is not a human. He only wants to quickly go out and kill the guy who sealed him. He doesn't want to harm anyone else. And Qin Yun's body has a familiar aura. It is very similar to the Universe Law Spirit that sealed him. That is why he attacked Qin Yun so crazily. After communicating, the ancient beast actually doesn't know what form he is in. Chapter 33-39. Qin Yun doesn't understand what kind of ancient beast this is, it doesn't know what he is, it only knows that he is an ancient beast. Although it is difficult to communicate with ancient beasts, Qin Yun can feel that ancient beasts are easy to get along with. The ancient beast said that Qin Yun has the same power aura as the Universe Law Spirit. This point made Qin Yun very concerned. He really wants to understand why the Universe Law Spirit has the same power aura as him. It must be known that Qin Yun's breakthrough is something he fumbled through by himself. It is a unique path. If other people want to be like him, they must have the same experience as him and meet all kinds of harsh conditions. Qin Yun's experience and conditions are impossible for others to achieve. How can they have the same cultivation path as him? The ancient beast's expression is not clear enough. Qin Yun is still unable to determine what the same aura is. Right now, the only thing he could do was to get the ancient beasts out and improve their communication skills. Only then would he be able to understand more. Qin Yun loathes the universe law spirit from the bottom of his heart. He doesn't want to walk the same path as the universe law spirit. Knowing that his aura is somewhat similar to the universe law spirit, it makes him feel very uncomfortable. The ancient beast promised Qin Yun that it will not resist and will do its best to cooperate with Qin Yun. After exchanging pointers with Qin Yun, the ancient beast realized that Qin Yun is very strong and was finally sealed by Qin Yun. Qin Yun began mobilizing the Nether Sun's power, condensed it into a needle and pierced the hard outer shell. The ancient beast said that if the outer shell is pierced, it might be able to let him out. Of course, Qin Yun doesn't completely believe the ancient beast's guarantee. He also has a trick up his sleeve. If the ancient beast comes out to cause trouble, he will let Little Ant Queen immediately use it. Little Ant Queen can quickly teleport with Qin Yun in the dark space. The ancient beast won't be able to do anything to him. The toughness of the outer shell is much stronger than Qin Yun imagined. Although it looks the same as the outer shell of the divine sun blood race, it is actually thicker and stronger. This outer shell is naturally formed. If I can obtain it and make it into armor, adding my powerful body, wouldn't my defense be super strong? No one can touch me. Qin Yun is very excited just thinking about it. If he has this set of equipment, he might be able to defeat the Nine Heavens Law Spirit again. After more than half a day, Qin Yun's super strong Nether Sun power finally pierced through the outer shell. After piercing it, Qin Yun cannot immediately pull out the needle, otherwise the small hole will immediately heal by itself. At this moment, Qin Yun's communication with the ancient beast became even smoother. I'm just energy. You can transfer me out through this small hole. The ancient beast said, Hurry up, I want to go out and take revenge. Qin Yun felt that the reason why ancient beasts were strong was mainly because of their outer shells. Without their outer shells, their strength would definitely be much weaker than before. The ancient beast's target of vengeance was the universe law spirit. He couldn't even defeat the Nine Heavens Law Spirit, much less the universe law spirit. Qin Yun needs the ancient beast as a new ally, so he will do his best to help the ancient beast break the seal. Ancient beasts still have no form, they are just energy. This made Qin Yun feel very mystical. This kind of energy is also very different from the divine sun blood seed elixir. Qin Yun extracted the ancient beast's energy bit by bit from the large flame ball. Originally he thought that after extracting the energy, it would be very stable. Who would have thought that it would be very weak? After all, this is a dark space. In order to prevent the energy from dissipating, Qin Yun can only take out the pill transformation heavenly furnace and gather the ancient beast's energy inside to prevent it from dissipating. The process of extracting energy is very long. During the extraction process, Qin Yun's Nether Sun consumes a lot of energy. After 2 days, he has extracted a lot of energy, but he still has not finished. My Nether Sun's consumption is not small. If this guy doesn't bring me any substantial benefits and directly goes to fight the universe law spirit, I will suffer a great loss. Qin Yun began calculating how to prevent the ancient beast from throwing away its life. The ancient beast is now in slumber. Qin Yun cannot discuss with it. He can only continue. If I can't subdue this ancient beast, or if it comes out and directly goes to fight the universe law spirit, it will be equivalent to losing the ancient beast. Old Brother Taisher said, but that outer shell is a good thing, at least it won't cause you to suffer a great loss. Qin Yun looked at the outer shell and felt very happy in his heart. After the ancient beast comes out, it will definitely not want the outer shell, it will belong to him. As long as he can use it well and refine it into protective gear, it will be equivalent to having a great help. He tossed and turned inside the dark space for 6 days and finally completely extracted the ancient beast's energy and gathered it inside the pill transformation heavenly furnace. The ancient beast that has turned into a ball also gradually woke up. This is my precious divine tool, don't break it. I released you out of kindness, don't bite the hand that feeds you. The ancient beast on Qin Yun's horse said. I won't cause any damage, just let me out. I want to find the guy who sealed me and take revenge. The ancient beast is actually very calm. Qin Yun released the ancient beast. The ancient beast is still a ball of energy. Just as Qin Yun expected, after the ancient beast left the outer shell, its strength dropped by a lot. It is far from being as strong as inside the outer shell. This guy actually became so weak after leaving the outer shell, it might as well stay inside the outer shell. Qin Yun looked at the ball of energy and thought in his heart, quickly bring me out of this damn place. The ancient beast's voice came out. What the hell are you? Qin Yun is no longer afraid of the ancient beast, he asked. Can you take revenge with your current strength? There is no one I can't kill. Bring me out of this damn place. I will immediately find that bastard. The ancient beast is very anxious and urged Qin Yun. Do you still want this thing? Qin Yun pointed at the outer shell. What do I want this damn thing for? Quickly take it away, I hate this thing to death. I don't want to see this thing again. The ancient beast's angry voice came out. Qin Yun immediately put away the outer shell. He is extremely happy in his heart. Even if the ancient beast is finished, as long as he can obtain this outer shell, he will not suffer a loss. After obtaining the outer shell, Qin Yun brought the ancient beast out of the dark space. After arriving at the divine desolate, the ancient beast trembled and released a very strong soul fluctuation. It is currently sensing the universe law spirit. That bastard is not here. After sensing for a while, the ancient beast very angrily said. Qin Yun is watching from the side. He also wants to see how the ancient beast can find the universe law spirit. It would be best if he can find it. He also wants to find the universe law spirit now. Are you going to fight the universe law spirit like this? Qin Yun asked. That guy is called universe law spirit? The ancient beast said in cold voice. Don't worry, I will use my strongest form to kill him. I will transform right now. After he finished speaking, the ball of energy began fluctuating and gradually turned into a golden horse. Qin Yun is very surprised. This ancient beast is actually a horse. Chapter 3340. When Qin Yun saw the ancient beast transform into a horse, he is greatly astonished. He previously thought that ancient beasts don't have a physical body. Now that it has transformed into a horse, it seems like its body is very strong. Is this your form? Qin Yun asked. What you saw before is my true form. This form is my strongest form. The ancient beast replied very seriously. This caused Qin Yun to be somewhat dumbfounded. The previous form was the ancient beast's form, but it was not its strongest form. After transforming into a horse, it became even stronger? This is its strongest form? Can I touch you? Qin Yun is truly curious. He wants to see how strong the ancient beast's body is. Sure. The ancient beast did not refuse. He knows that Qin Yun is very capable, otherwise he would not have been able to save him. Qin Yun touched the ancient beast's back and probed its body. He discovered that it contains an astonishing power. However, this power seems somewhat strange, as if it is being suppressed. That 9 Heaven Island Master has a divine sun blood seed. I want to go find him. The ancient beast hissed, and then like a horse, it rushed towards the entrance of the 18-layer space. Qin Yun can only follow behind. He wants to understand a bit more about this ancient beast. After all, ancient beasts evolved from a special energy body and can be considered a divine sun blood seed. This guy has a very formidable power inside his body that hasn't been excavated yet, just like me. Qin Yun is certain that the ancient beast is very strong. This kind of strength should be able to fight evenly with Barbarian Emperor. It is worth roping him in. 9 Heaven Island Master is still inside the 18-layer space. He is very flustered. After Qin Yun and the ancient beast left, although 9 Heaven Island Master is not that nervous, he is still very uneasy. 9 Heaven Island is still inside the 18-layer space. Now there is no one else except for 9 Heaven Island Master. This kind of silence makes him feel very uncomfortable. He is still tightly holding the divine sun blood seed Qin Yun gave him, waiting for Qin Yun to return. Suddenly, he heard the long neigh of a horse and sensed a familiar aura. He knows that the ancient beast has returned. The appearance of the ancient beast caused 9 Heaven Island Master to be very surprised. Because the ancient beast's form is actually a horse. 9 Heaven Island Master does not know what the ancient beast experienced to come out. He only knows that the ancient beast is very strong and might have even defeated Qin Yun. Qin Yun returned with the ancient beast. 9 Heaven's Island Lord felt relieved when he saw that Qin Yun was fine. He was worried that Qin Yun would be killed by the ancient beast. He recognized Qin Yun as the Divine King, and at present, only Qin Yun could protect 9 Heaven's Island from being invaded by Barbarian Sovereign and the others. Where is your divine sun blood seed? Give it to me. My blood can help you cultivate a strong body. This is our agreement. You can't go back on your word. The ancient beast said to 9 Heaven's Island Lord. The ancient beast's communication abilities had improved greatly. This was mainly due to Qin Yun's guidance. Qin Yun had injected many communication methods into the ancient beast's souls. This is for you. 9 Heaven Island Master saw Qin Yun nod, and then handed over the divine sun blood seed to the ancient beast. This was a transaction between the ancient beast and 9 Heaven's Island Lord. Qin Yun only watched from the side and did not ask any questions. He really wanted to see what the blood of an ancient beast was like. He wanted to see if it could really allow the 9 Heaven's Island Lord to cultivate a powerful body. The ancient beast opened its mouth and swallowed the divine sun blood seed. It said, "This is great, I'm going to look for even stronger beasts. I want to become even stronger." What? You can transform? Qin Yun asked in amazement. I need a certain amount of energy to activate my innate ability to record every aspect of a beast. Then I can transform into that beast. The ancient beast said, I can only transform like this now, so this is my strongest form. Qin Yun understood that this ancient beast is a phantom beast. Moreover, it can not only transform into appearance, it can also control the strongest power of beast transformation, as well as all kinds of aura and divine beast inheritance. This is indeed very awesome. You eat a divine sun blood seed and you will get a chance to record, right? Qin Yun asked. It seems like it. But I can't be sure when the next opportunity will appear. I need to cultivate and become stronger. The ancient beast said, That's why I want to find even stronger beasts here and learn from them. Leave this to me. I know many powerful beasts. When the time comes, you can choose from them and learn from them. Qin Yun said. That's great. After I become stronger, I will definitely repay you. The ancient beast seems very happy. This blood. 9 Heaven Island Master shouted in low voice. The ancient beast looked at Qin Yun and said, Help me bleed. Qin Yun took out the saber he got from Barbarian Emperor. Without this saber, he might not be able to cut open the ancient beast's skin. He tossed and turned for a long time before finally cutting open the horse's leg and began bleeding. How much? Qin Yun asked. As much as you can, I can recover on my own. The ancient beast is very generous. Qin Yun took out a spatial bottle to receive the blood. He also secretly took a bit to study. After more than half an hour, the ancient beast turned into a ball of energy, meaning that the blood has been lost. Qin Yun also collected a large amount of blood and handed it over to Nine Heaven Island Master. Nine Heaven Island Master is very grateful, but he doesn't know how to use this bottle of blood. The ancient beast also doesn't know. Moreover, it has already fallen asleep. Only after it recovers can it turn back into a horse. Nine Heaven Island Master can only ask Qin Yun for help. I studied it, the ancient beast's blood is very special, it is indeed enough for you to condense a powerful body. As for how strong it will be, I can't be sure. Qin Yun took out the pill transformation heavenly furnace. He plans to use it to refine the blood, let the blood grow flesh and bones and refine a body. This is feasible, but he needs to add a lot of things. This is not difficult for Qin Yun. What made Qin Yun excited is that the ancient beast's blood is so powerful. It means that it can create many powerful bodies that can surpass the divine space realm and form a body similar to Luoyingtian's. At that time, Nine Heaven Island Master will also be on their side. With such an expert, they will have more confidence when facing the new beginning human camp in the future. Therefore, even if Nine Heaven Island Master didn't say anything, Qin Yun would definitely help him because such an ally is too important. Qin Yun immediately found a quiet place and let the ancient beast wait for him. Then he asked Nine Heaven Island Master to bring over a large amount of Divine Universe Golden Rock. This requires a lot of energy. Nine Heaven Island has a lot of Divine Universe Golden Rocks. It is enough for Qin Yun to carry out. If it is only Nine Heaven Island Master's soul that absorbs the blood, then the body that grows will indeed be very strong, but it will not reach the primordial origin realm. In order to reach the primordial origin realm, he needs some divine sun blood seed liquid. Qin Yun asked Nine Heaven Island Master to bring over a large amount of Divine Universe Golden Rocks because he wants to duplicate and create the divine sun blood seed. He wants to chat with like-minded people about $article_title? WeChat follows YouTube literature, chat about life, find a bosom friend. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.